Round 13 of the Skypoynt NASCAR Trucks eSeries is here at Nashville Superspeedway. The NASCAR Trucks, they love it here. It's great racing. It's a superspeedway, but the banking isn't there to use, isn't there to take advantage, to save the fuel load. It's going to be a tie game, just like a 1.5 mile. Peter Grett and Jai Schultz here for the call once again. Well, superspeedway, I think we use that word loosely tonight, Jai, because, well, superspeedway, that's what it's called, but it's definitely not.
Yeah, definitely not the length that we normally see super speedways at the 2.5 mile, 1.33 miles here, so very different. It is named under a super speedway, but it's a little bit shorter than the 1.5 miles, so yeah, a little bit of throttle control, a little bit of braking, not flat to the floor as we see at the other super speedways here on iRacing.
Let's have a look. A little bit of track facts, a little bit of something sensible. It's probably not going to be visible or evident in this broadcast because, well, we're here at Nashville. We're here in Gladville, Tennessee, in the US of A. Superspeedway, well, is it? Turns 4. Obviously, it's a superspeedway. And bugger all banking, I did have that there. That's probably one thing that I thought that I was forgetting throughout the leading up to going live. But 2.15 kilometres, and I didn't get to putting in the miles in there. So, well, it's in the good old scale, 2.15 miles. Round 13, Nashville, Tennessee, Jai Superspeedway, 40-odd trucks in here. Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series. Well, you can't expect anything less than the best, I think, tonight, mate, because, well, these drivers are going to turn it on. And, well, I think, in turn, this one should be one of the best ones that we've called tonight, just the given of the truck and the track, rather, and the making of everything. 037, just practicing a slow pit entry there.
Yeah, definitely looking for exciting racing, and as we just focused on in the screen, he's just going to stop short, but they are using the extra pit lane entry as we see one of the middle split cars demonstrating here. So on the entry of turn 3, they're going to have to jump to the access road for pit lane and use that entry for pit lane instead of just coming off the track off of turn 4 as well. But another thing about Nashville here this week, Pete, is it's concrete. It's not the normal bitumen or tarmac that we're used to seeing, so we'll see if that makes for a bit of different racing and see how the track actually comes in as the race goes on, and if they can kind of work in those two wide racing as we've seen in the past here at the Skypoynt Trucks.
Well, I haven't really done many, if any, to be honest, Jai, of laps around here, and I did make mention earlier. I watched a little bit of it, like in real life stuff around here, and I did notice that they were saying that it was asphalt. I'm not too sure how much that'll be, sort of different in the way of the race we're going to see here tonight, but it's definitely a lot smoother. Concrete, just looking at the plain facts, concrete is smoother than asphalt. So I think we're going to see a lot of rear end happy cars here tonight. I think if tyres is going to be the thing, is what I've been hearing. I think instead of a standard 1.5 mile ripping your front right to shreds, I think it's going to be a rear game here tonight. John, I'm not too sure if you can correct me there, and if you've done too many laps around here, but slippery, slidey concrete as opposed to asphalt. That's the way I'm thinking.
Yeah, I definitely haven't done too many laps around Nashville, but Dover, the miles, the monster, a 1 mile concrete track, a lot more banking at Dover and more of an oval layout instead of the tri-oval layout. But I know racing at Dover on the concrete, the rear of the truck does get a little bit tail happy as the run goes on, and the track progresses a little bit differently than the tarmac tracks as well. So being the same surface, I can imagine that Nashville may be the same as Dover, but definitely a little bit shorter than the 1.5 mile as mentioned before, and being concrete, but the tri-oval kind of layout, it's definitely going to be a bit interesting. And also, who's brave enough to kind of dip those tires down on the front straight away and use that apron to maybe just get a little bit of an advantage. But we'll have to see who's willing to try that early, or if they're going to stay away from that and play it safe up on the banking through the tri-oval.
It's going to be a money's game in it, or a waiting game rather, and patience game to see what's going to happen. I've also heard if you use a little bit too much of that apron, and or if you don't know how to use it, it's probably more to the point is you'll probably see a couple of cars go around there too. So the apron is there to be able to use, but the apron is also asphalt as well, so a little bit of a different grip level. And if you, I think there's a little bit of an art to a joy of using an asphalt apron on a concrete surface.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot different, and the apron through the tri-oval is only about a truck width wide as well, so it's not very wide, but definitely able to use if you can get the truck from the banking through the tri-oval onto the flat surface of the apron through there, and as well getting it back up onto the track. But you do run the risk of if you do use that, someone not actually letting you back up onto the concrete racing surface. So you may get held down there, but definitely worth a little bit of time if you can manage it well.
Well, that's the thing. If you can get there, it's the road's there to use, but well, you're off the racing surface, so it's a rejoin. If you don't rejoin or you take someone out, well, then the stewards will be there after the race. Skypoynt will go live with the post-race review. Everything that you sort of see that goes on behind the background, all the penalties and whatnot, they'll be explained or protested after the race. Skypoynt NASCAR Facebook page there, and welcome to all the viewers on both them here tonight once again. Round 13 of the series, Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series. Aidan Schulz, pole position, 29.481. Kay Donnelly will start alongside him. Craig Roffey, Dave Douglas, Luke Crum, Andy Barmer, that's your third row. Gosley, Sheedy, Finlay, McKenzie, Roffey and Stevie Dubb. 12th position, hasn't had a great start to this series. A couple of DNFs there. He'll start up there on the 6th row. Priest, Roffey, Pritchard, Stevens, McAvoy, Johnston, Spencer, Noddy Tompkins to round out your top 20 of this field. We got about another 12 drivers behind there, Jai. About 32, 35 drivers in here. Round 13 here at Nashville. How good is it? Good start. Again, we're off. We're green. We are racing. Geico restart zone in play as we go green flag racing here at Nashville. Schultz, good start. Donnelly and Roffey. Dave Douglas there behind and loses a position just briefly. The start here at Nashville. It's been a good one here, Jai. Have a look at these trucks.
Yeah, it's a really good start, but not sure if the Geico restart zone in play and the start zone in play. The race is on green as we just see a truck get loose and then just gets tagged, so we got to go into caution here before we get to the end of lap 1.
Well, I was talking it up too soon, wasn't I? It's a nice clean restart. Well, Pete, commentator's curse yet again. I'll just let this event reel sort itself out a little bit. Lap 2 at 1:35. Ryan Barber, Aiden jump start, jumped the restart zone. Does that mean a little bit of a drive through the lane for Aiden Schulz? Not only pole position, number 1 for a reason. Was championship leader last series, and I'm not too sure what's going to happen there, Jai, as I'll try and get a replay there.
Yeah, it was definitely a good start by Aiden, but with the start zone rule in effect in hosted and league races, the start of the race with that start zone enabled means that the start of the race is actually on the green and not the leader, so they can't actually go until that green flag's away. And we just saw a restart that Aiden kind of jumped away even before the Geico zone, so maybe just slipped his mind a bit. But as we go high above to see this first incident, got real loose coming through the middle of turn 4 there, and kind of just got finished off by another one of these trucks, which is quite easy to do. They're a bit of a struggle to get them worried up and get them slowed down a lot of the time with no warning or little to no warning. So very easy to do is just to run up the truck that kind of gets a bit loose in front of you, but definitely unlucky, and definitely may take a bit to get these tyres up to temperature and really get the truck into the track a bit.
First caution of the night, lap 3 of 135. Donnelly, Roffey, Schulz, Sheedy, Barber, Gosley, Finlay, McKenzie, Roffey, and Stevie Dub, Stevie Williams back there in 10th position. Watch for that truck to move their way through. We've seen this, haven't we, Jai, throughout the season, on and off. Yellows pretty frequent throughout the start. We've also seen lots of green running also, and well, Nashville, it's a super speedway. You drive it not so much like that, but it has and does come to its best. It's almost like a Talladega when it comes to, well, if you want to see the best, you want to see green racing, and I am guilty of having a look at a few in real life races today here at Nashville, and well, what I've seen of the in real life stuff in the trucks. Well, there was a big hiatus here for probably about 10 or 11 years. I think the trucks didn't go or come here rather than Nashville, but they did come back only a few years, and the racing that I watched today is you want to see the best of this track. You want to see it green, you want to see everyone running at full pace, and the tyre wear, once that comes off too, that'll bring in another sort of effect, or another play on play sort of thing in the race. So good to, that's what I want to see here today, green lap racing. But let's see, give the guys a chance. What are we, 4 or 135? Jai, Donnelly, Roffey, Aiden Schulz, number 1 for a reason. He's currently sitting there right up in behind 41. He's going to start second row inside lane.
Yeah, so he's just coming up to get the restart now. So just look for this truck's headed by Kate Donnelly at the moment. Just hit this blue painted line on the inside, and then it's up to him to go on the restart. So he goes quite early in that and gets a good jump. And look for Aiden in that number 1 truck to kind of stay on that low line, and as I do, have to pit road. So he'll be looking to stay down there and not get trapped up high to set up and get that out of the way quite early. But good restart, got a few different lines, and even going too wide from about 6 on back.
A couple of trucks up ahead, willing to use the apron on the inside to, oh, actually that's a pit entry from a couple of drivers there. I think you brought that up there, but lap 5 of 135 after that restart is starting to look pretty good. Single line, and I think this track is going to see a lot of single line driving as we just go a little bit of a drone view here. Craig Roffey, Wade Sheedy, Trent Gosley, Andy Barber, and Finlay. That's your 5 movers. Well, Tyson McAvoy up 8, and Noddy Tompkins joins him there as well. But with a lot of racing to go, I think, well, Gaines at the minute is probably redundant. But these front guys, and front 10 or 15 or so trucks, Jai, they've found their way to just single line, and I think right now that's probably the better thing to do. 3 tyres over the wall as well. So tyres here is going to be the gain, but these guys looking to make the most of their green tyres so far.
Yeah, definitely a time where maybe we should do, especially being in concrete and sliding the truck through the corners as well. So they'll be looking to make about 30 to 35 laps on the green way run. And then still set tyres as well. So, but as we saw in that restart, not only did Aiden Schulz hit pit road to serve that penalty, Kate Donnelly in the 41 also did, and he was the pole sitter on this restart. So maybe he jumped the start as well on this restart. So that's two jump starts from 2, and hopefully any more cautions we'll see him really taking effect to that Geico restart zone. But that's a part of having the start zone rule enabled here at the Skypoynt trucks, is really keeping the racing close and the start's fair, and not really letting anyone jump out to a big lead. So you want to make the most, especially starting off the pole position on starts and restarts. But obviously there's a little bit of a fine line in between getting a good jump and then getting stung by Barney's cousin in the race control booth up there.
Well, you don't want to be that. You want to be there at the end. There's a little bit of a battle up the front now. Wade Sheedy, he's got his hand full. Craig Roffey wants to go around the outside. Big hello to Tim Pinoche watching from Iowa City. Enjoy the trucks race, mate. We've got about 125 laps of goodness coming your way. Wade Sheedy, Craig Roffey, Trent Gosley. Few names in the series, Jai, that haven't been up the front. Well, if you'd want to sort of use what we have been seeing to now, a couple of names getting their turn up the front. It's good to see Andy Barber in a battle with Dwayne Priest at the minute. But yeah, it's good to see new names up the front, and Andy just gets out of that.
Yeah, definitely thinking better of that. Racing a little bit too hard for Andy's liking there, so he's just backed it down a bit, settled in, and he'll look to make that position up later in the race. But yeah, definitely some new names up there, and Trent Gosley, last week's winner, is currently sitting in P3 as well, so he's having a really good run and using his momentum later in the season for some pretty good results. So we've got quite a few new names up the front, quite a few names that are there week in, week out, as we just see the pace truck coming back out onto the circuit for our second caution.
Second caution, I was surprised we were having a good run there. I'm still yet to know what went on there. The pace truck, just look at him. I'd love to be in that pace truck, to be honest. Look at him, man. He drifts around the corner as well. I'd like to jump on board. I'd tell you that pace truck's got some serious horsepower. He just flew past them trucks, but I'm not too sure what happened there. To be honest, mate, what brought out the yellow flag? I'm just going to double click on this event reel. It says yellow flag, so let's see if I can. There we go. Let's have a look at Skypoynt replay. I'm not too sure what this is going to show, to be honest. It's a mixed bag. Go high in the air. What's happening? Wade Sheedy, that's the front. We'll move back a little bit further. See what happens. We've got a... Oh, that's definitely one for the forgotten reel, Jai, because it looks like we're under yellow at this stage. So once again, the race outplays me. Apologies, no idea why we're under caution, but we're under caution. Lap 1335, 10% through, if I would.
Yeah, definitely unsure, but when the pace truck came out in relative to the leaders that I saw live, it looks like it may have been an incident in Thoreen 4 just by the timing of the pace truck and the leaders. So maybe a truck getting loose, but yeah, definitely a bit of a mystery at the moment. But Wade Sheedy off to the lead, up 7, doing really good for the Platinum Racing. Craig Roffey, second place, middle split, and Christopher Finlay from the Sim Boys currently in P3. So three different teams in the top 3 and looking quite strong. So no real teaming up at the moment that I can see on the timing boards. But at a track like Nashville, where the draft isn't too much of a key factor, as we see Andy Barber just hit pit road. Yeah, they're not too focused on pairing up with teammates at the moment, so they'll be running their own race. And as we saw Andy Barber going side by side with one of the other trucks into turn 1 and just thinking better of it, kind of letting off, getting back in line, back to single file. So these drivers seem like they just want to settle in at this stage of the race and kind of run that single file line and just get a bit closer to the end of this race and keeping their trucks clean.
Sebi's all alone in the webcams at the moment. Sebastian Van Del's doing pretty good. He's up 6 positions where he started truck number 4. And all alone. No one else shared their webcams today, but Sebi kindly did. And let's see if he can push up and push through. Is a good racer, good competitor, and doesn't do much oval stuff, but we'll see what he can do here at Nashville.
Yeah, he's definitely not one of the regular oval names. He's a cracker racer in the road kind of stuff as well. But yeah, definitely not too known for the oval stuff, but generally finds his way up towards the pointy end at some stage in the race as well. So he definitely does enjoy it and definitely has fun racing on these ovals and really taking it to these big guns that are here week in, week out fighting for these wins.
And he's going to do well off the restart. Lap 14 of 135, and it's been pretty good so far, hasn't it? With the cleanliness of racing, we've only seen this is our second caution, isn't it? Second caution, lap 15. I do believe this track, what I've seen so far, we'll see the best of it when we get going green. We've seen this throughout. A lap or two, or 10 or 20 laps. We're a little bit how's it going, if you will. Have a look at them times too. Sheedy, Roffey, Finlay, Mackenzie all share the time of 30 seconds for 30.14 seconds lap time. That's pretty impressive. Jai, 4 drivers, top 4 in fact, to have the same lap times.
Yeah, it just shows how close this series is and how competitive it is as well. So just seeing the field start to form up here behind the pace truck, as the pace truck lights are out, so that just means that we're going back to green flag racing this time by. So hopefully how good do these cameras look? Hopefully you're all seeing it at home and watching it on the big screen and really enjoying it here tonight. So we'll see if they go 3 from 3 from a penalty on this start with the restart zone.
Let's have a look. Wade Sheedy's going to bring him to green. He's not going to wait. He doesn't. About halfway through the Geico restart zone. It's been around about standard. Gets a good jump. But then we have a look too, and it was almost 3 wide there in the background. You have a look. I think it's Tom Pritchard, Superspeedway King, you might as well call him, or we call him Truck 6 in the Skypoynt. He gets out that a little bit. He wants to sit behind his teammate in Mackenzie alongside number 10 Dave Douglas. Dave Douglas is the guy that you like to be around. Plenty of charisma off the track, and plenty of racecraft on it as Simple now starting to get a little bit friendly with the rear of the 6 truck, but Dave Douglas looks to be pushing through. It's going to be a high line track, Jai, but when do you sacrifice your tire? Oh no, when do you sacrifice your speed for tyre deck? At what point in your pit strategy, mate? Because this ideally for tyres is going to be high line, but at what point do you sacrifice that probably 1.5 seconds a lap and maybe a couple of positions to move up high?
Yeah, well, tyre wear is definitely going to be an issue here tonight. So we've had about half the field hit pit road so far, but it's only been fuel only stops. No one's actually taken tyres yet. So they're going to really want to get to around that lap 30, probably push it out to 35 to 40 laps on this first set of tyres, because we have had a couple of caution laps, which will help the tyre wear. So yeah, you don't really want to get ready your set for the first 35 to 40 laps, because it will put you on the back foot for the rest of the race.
We have a look at these trucks and that lead now. Wade Sheedy is starting to put the pressure on. 1.23 seconds is the lead. Self-spinner, Ryan Barber in the comments saying that's the cause of the caution. Wade Sheedy leading this way around. Sheedy, Finlay, Roffey, Mackenzie and Priest. That's your 5 in the minute. Big gap. Drive Wade Sheedy. Put the pressure on. Is he pushing too soon? Tyres is going to be the thing. Tyres is what you want under you. Pushing too hard, that could be the death of you. But, Sheedy is your team boss. He knows what's right. Is it the wrong thing to do, Jai?
He definitely is the team boss, and definitely doing well up the front here. So he is coming off a 4th place finish last night in a truck race as well. So definitely a bit of momentum coming from Sheedy, and definitely taking it to this field at the moment. But we're just going to have to keep an eye on the gap, and as he gets it out to about 9/10 of a second, we'll see as this run goes on, if we stay green, if he kind of starts falling back, and then we'll know if it was too hard too soon, or if he's made the right call, and just extending that gap if we do go green, and hopefully keeping the gap all the way until the pit stop, and really breaking that draft, as he's only about half a second away from actually getting out of the draft from the trucks behind him. So look for him to really start powering forward and creating that gap a little bit more.
Let's have a look at this as well. The way the race is unfolding. The battles, I think the battle is to get clean air and to get out there. Wade Sheedy, he's found clean air. Darren Mackenzie, he's out to clean air. The battle we're watching now, Craig Roffey, Christopher Finlay, Dave Douglas and Nigel Platt, they do not have clean air. Have a look at this. Big battle, and it goes right down. Adam Malone's involved in this as well, side by side. Stevie Dubb, unlucky so far this series. And we all know the driver he can be. Can he capitalise here? He's just got around Gary Wellman there, so a couple of drivers that I'd like to see do well that are a little bit further down, but the battle in the mid-pack, it's as good as any. Up 20 for Nigel Patton. He's got the hard charger at the minute, but we got the front-ish to this battle that's unfolding. Dave Douglas, Finlay, Patton and Reese.
Yeah, we're just focusing on the kind of front portion of the field, around the 5th and 6th position at the moment. And a few of these trucks are electing to still run side by side, but if you look backwards in the pack, they're all electing to run that single file with the odd 2 wide, just making the pass, getting the run off the corner. So definitely kind of status quo and keeping in that line early on here at Nashville as we hit lap 24 of 135. So yeah, definitely a bit of calm runnings and getting into this kind of early green flag run. So the best person on fuel at the moment is Trent Gosley, last week's winner, currently P14. He pitted on lap 12 for a bit of a top up on fuel, so theoretically he could go 12 laps longer than the rest of the field. So look for him to kind of cycle through the field up to the front if we do stay green in this green flag run.
Running involved with Sebby Vandel just for a bit, not batting an eyelid as he has a little bit of a battle, short-lived battle with Tyson McAvoy there, back in around about 16th position, up 15 for Henry Fenson, just above him. Good little battle pack actually in the field, the whole field in fact, of around about, what have we got in? We got 45 drivers who've stayed really close together throughout the entirety of this race so far, except for these guys. Jai, they've got a different party to attend. Maybe they're on a promise, mate, get home quick, and well, you never know.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of skipping away as they got around the 2-second lead out to third place Craig Roffey. So definitely skipping away in the kind of tandem draft that they're doing here at the moment. So looking to really surge forward, and it's good to see how close the rest of the pack is to each other at the moment, as this is the track where they use the most brakes all season long out of the whole 16 rounds. So if we focus in on these two leaders as they come up to turn 3, you'll see a little bit of a flame pop out the right side of the truck up against the wall, which alludes to really letting off the throttle quite quickly and jumping on the brake a bit. It'll actually pop the flame out the side of the truck. So definitely good to see how close it is, and just goes to show the different style of racing that Nashville brings to the table as well.
Quite clean trucks too from these leaders, Sheedy and McKenzie. There's only about 0.18 of a second between them, 0.2 of a second as the timing corrects itself, and it's been like that for a little bit. And Darren McKenzie and Sheedy, they know each other. You know, obviously on the sim talk a lot, and they'd be talking to each other as well if they're in the same Discord, saying we'll work together, let's pull away. That's what they're doing. 2.7 seconds is the lead, these two right now, and lap 30, 135, and with a lead like this, if they can keep going, and this is pretty much what the race asks for at this point, Jai, is to grab a mate and just get out of there. And well, 2.7, if that's not getting out of there, I don't know what is, but it's out of the battle packs that what we're seeing a little bit behind, although now even these guys know pick over these laps and do it quickly, because they're all learned, haven't they? See the line of turn and just get this done, click over the laps. Lap 31 of 135, round 13 of the Skypoynt Truck eSeries. Doing pretty good here at Nashville.
Yeah, they have up there quite a lot. Say a couple of 2 wide little groups here and there, but that's just using the run off the corner to make that pass as well. So if you're not making a pass, you're single file and really settling in. But these two leaders, Wade Sheedy and Darren McKenzie, almost 3-second lead already. So they're edging out quite quickly and slipping away as the rest of the field kind of battle on and slow each other up a little bit. And they are a little bit spread out as well. In comparison to the two leaders, they're quite closely, quite tight on each other and really using each other to help push each other along extend the lead. So we'll see if Craig Roffey, leading the pack in third, can lead this battle pack with about 20 trucks back up to the leaders of this one.
That's what I noticed as well, and as we all know, that in real life they do stage racing for the next gen, and I was watching and taking notes as Steve Duff goes to go down the inside. I think that's actually a different move that I just jumped on board with. But getting back to what I was just saying, I noticed that in the in real life stuff, I think what I was watching was next gen, I think, Jai, and the fastest guys at around about this point of the race in stage 1, I think 34 of 55 laps, I think stage 1 was, the fastest guys were so far back in the pack, and they were running the high line, and that's why I keep concentrating on a little bit further back. We've got Dave Douglas, he's in 8th, and the lap time that he did last was a 30.16, and then a little bit further back there, only not too far off the pace, and that was not too dissimilar what I've seen in real life stuff when I was doing the research up to this broadcast. To be honest, Jai, that the guys a little bit further back, whether they can get back there at the end is a different story. But those are the guys that are a little bit quicker on track, and you can almost see that here tonight. Albeit the front three are the quickest, but the mid pack is just as quick.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like as soon as you start kind of experimenting up towards that high line, you're going to use a little bit less of your tyre. So if you try and skip away as Sheedy and Mackenzie are doing, you're burning up a lot more of the tyres than a few guys later on in the pack. But obviously, once they're saving tyres in the back of the pack, they'll have fresher tyres as the run goes on. And they've also got more trucks to draft off as well. So definitely a lot quicker. But definitely not such a bad thing to run out the front and really control the start of this race and really kind of manage the gap. And if those guys do catch back up to you, you can kind of just hold them off and save yourself that way as well. So we'll definitely see if the push strategy pays off or the tyre save strategy pushes off. So bit out of line now as D-Mac looks to the low line. Takes the lead away from Wade Sheedy, and maybe just swapping positions. So maybe these drivers are like, yep, we've got D-Mac saving fuel a little bit behind Wade, and we'll swap it around halfway through this run, and we'll get Wade to save a bit of fuel behind D-Mac now as well. So both doing that will push both trucks further on into this first stint.
Yeah, well, we've got to keep an eye on these leaders. We've got the leader, or was the leader, into the broadcast. Wade Sheedy, you got Darren McKenzie riding with you at the minute. You're riding shotgun up to start this, up the front of this race. Lap 39 to 135. What's the game plan, mate?
Oh, just drive the car. Try not to hit the walls like I just did them.
Well, it's probably. I did tell you I was going to annoy the beep out of you this race, and well, this is the first time of many. I think Jai's probably cringing. He's like, oh, he's my new team boss, I can't piss him off, but well, he can't, but I can. So Wade, you and Darren, you're way out in front now. Good lead. Is that sort of the mentality you had coming into the race, or is just something that sort of developed over the start and you just got to lead and just run with it?
Try to be around as less cars as possible, try and do, and yeah, hopefully get some nice clean air, less chance to get into a blizzard.
Nice and green racing so far, 2 cautions only. Do you expect the rest of the race to go around about that, nice and clean?
No, once people get some tyre wear, there's going to be some more cautions for sure.
How long till your tyres wear off, Wade?
Oh, look, they're feeling pretty good now, but yeah, I'm not going to give you away that answer just yet.
I tried, mate. I bloody tried. Jai, team boss there. I'll leave it with you and I'll throw him back after.
Yeah, he's doing a good job, Wade, and hopefully you can better your P4 from last night and get it on the podium tonight.
Yeah, cheers, mate. See how we go.
Wade Cheedy currently sitting in P2. A little bit of a shock, probably bringing him in. Jai, but we brought him in anyway. Currently sitting P2. Pretty cool and calm, and he's sort of got a plan as he sits, you know, with a big lead with him and Darren McKenzie.
Yeah, definitely he sounds a lot comfortable where he's sitting and away from a bit of traffic here as well. So in the clean air, and only really worrying about D-Mac at the moment is D-Mac's kind of skipped out on him a little bit up to about 0.7 of a second. So just extending his legs, but yeah, a comfortable position by the sound of it from Wade Cheedy, currently sitting P2.
It's a good little conversation. He wouldn't give anything to me, and well, do they blame him? I got a big mouth, I'm a commentator, I just keep talking, I just blabber anywhere. Even if I tell him I'm not, I'm gonna anyway. Down the inside, Sebi Van Dell on Dave Douglas. Dave Douglas starting to get that high line working. Now you'll see once the tyres start to go away, Jai, is people opting to use a little bit more high and a little and a lot less low.
Yeah, definitely the high line is going to be the preferred line as the runs go on, as you don't have to turn the wheel as much on the high line, but a lot of these trucks are still running on the low line, burning up those tyres. So we'll see if how long they can do that for until they start getting a bit of ploughing in the front of these trucks and really shooting the front of the truck up towards the wall, and a lot of the drivers are going to have to try and stay out of it as best they can.
Look at this Roffy car just pulling through the field. That's Kim Roffy. He had a good run, 0.99, middle split racing. Wants to go down the inside of the 39. The 39 covers. 39's to Wayne Priest. Remember, on debut last round, and he had a good finish last round. This round, having a look and looking to finish up the pointy end, side by side for Dwayne Priest with Gary Wellman. All looks well and good as Kim Roffy looks to send it 3 wide. Thinks better of it, pushes Dwayne up there. Let's get it done together.
Yeah, definitely a good running and a good showing in all the leagues I've seen going in, and really competitive. So he's got Gary Wellman right in front of him, Simboy's teammate. So we'll see those guys really work together and push each other forward. As we start seeing a few cars hit pit road for the first time tonight, lap 47. So a few of those cautions would have helped them extend these laps, but Tom Pritchard first one to pull the trigger.
Yeah, Tom Pritchard, Skypoynt Racing, and obviously director and owner of Skypoynt and naming rights sponsor, and also collective owner of this league as well. So shout out to Skypoynt and shout out to Tom. Thanks, Tom, for putting in the lead. And what's a trucks race without a shout out to Tom?
Yeah, no, he does a stellar job. Him Andy putting this league on and making it really the place to be on Tuesday night. So we just see Adam Malone hitting pit road using this entry road as they have to, otherwise they will receive a penalty. So yeah, trying to maximise the time along that road and maybe make up a few positions. So we do see Steve W hit the lead. He is yet to stop, so he should be in this lap or next. Currently P2, Ruben Phelps up 35 positions. He stopped on that caution, or the second caution, lap 12. So look for him to really extend this run out to around the 59 to 60 lap mark as well. So he'll take the lead and just a bit off strategy, but paying off quite well as bonus points for leading the lap, and he's definitely got those.
Well, we all know Phelps, he wants to go for the win, and everyone here that's entered into this race wants to go for the win, and he's got the skill, he's got the brain, the race brain to do it as well. He's going to go one lap a little bit longer than the other. Will that be enough to save just one lap of tyres at the end? Well, only time will tell. Lap 50, 135, round 13 of the Skypoynt NASCAR Truck eSeries. Pit stops, green pit stops, are taking shape right now. Phelps, Gosley, Van Dell, they're the 3 at the minute. The 41 goes underneath. Ruben Phelps takes, he hangs down low. Him and the 4 of Gosley are working together now. I think they'll pit together. Ruben Phelps down in the pit road. Oh, well, eat me words straight up, Joey. Just eat it.
Yeah, it's very, very soon. from Ruben to pit road is currently we've only got 16 drivers on the lead lap. So the guys that were leading, Darren McKenzie, Wade Cheaty, they're actually trapped a lap down at the moment. So if we get a caution in the next, anywhere in the next 10 laps maybe, it's going to trap a lot of these drivers down. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that. But fresh tyres, especially here at Nashville, it's going to be very quick, and we're going to see a lot of these trucks really catching the guys that are yet to pit and get rid of their first set of tyres.
That's what you want to do, and I tell you, you can get caught out as well. The race we went last night, I didn't finish the race, but it wasn't because of this. But when I changed tyres, I got caught out because whoa, it could turn. You get a lot of understeer rather when the fronts go. But I think a little bit of a different track tonight. I think the rears are probably going to be the tyres to go. Jai, next driver we bring in, we'll have to ask that. But I think with a track like this, and you may be able to help me with this one, mate. A track like this, I think rears is going to be more important than right-hand sides.
It's definitely going to be the right-hand sides in general. But if it's the front right or the rear right, that's still up for debate, I guess. We haven't really seen too much trucks sliding, other than like the initial first couple of laps where the tyres are cold. So it may be a case of right-hand front still. But we just saw Darren McKenzie actually put a lap time in the 29.6s. So he did a 29.69, which was 2 seconds a lap quicker than these guys up the front on the older tyres. So might be a bit of a chasing game, and as we do go caution for the third time tonight on lap 55. So we'll see if those people that were trapped a lap down manage to get past the leader and stay on the lead lap.
Go to a Skypoint replay, Aiden Ford. You don't want to have a look at this. Just spun it. How easy though. Ooh, almost caught it. And well, that constitutes a caution. He was well out of control. Well, saves it. Loses a lot of position. And have a look at these guys having a little bit of a go. They would have been getting shown the yellow. Didn't know where it was. Get caught short a little bit. Re-enters the track there. But well, Aiden Ford, 40 machine, having a little bit of an off there, but no harm, no foul, really, Jai. It's ovals. You can get it back sometimes, but no damage. That's probably the best thing. Tyres a little bit cooked, probably.
Yeah, definitely would have worn out those tyres a little bit as he kind of slid to a stop, but looked like it just got a little bit loose in turn 4, as we've seen a couple of drivers do tonight, and then just a slight overcorrection, catching it and just spins to a stop. So he kept it out of the wall and kept it out of the pit lane to get a penalty for that. So yeah, just a bit of track position, bit of time loss, and eyes forward and keep going. So definitely a lot better than putting it in the fence.
Yeah, well, that's one thing. There's when you go off there, well, there's a long bit of runoff there for you to use. So well used. Darren McKenzie, Southern Stars Esports. So I was saying at the top of the broadcast, well, he's due for one. I've probably said it, and I probably should stop actually, because he, you know, had a bit of poor luck there. As we see a really busy pit lane, Darren McKenzie stays out for track position. He's a good racer, I tell you. He's one of the best. When I first started hanging around these boys, and you couldn't beat him in anything really, anything oval. You couldn't beat this bloke 0-2. And tonight, well, he showed himself. And in the last couple of rounds, to be honest, I think Jai he's really been out there and showed his nose and showed the Darren McKenzie of old, if I can say that, because well, he's really put his eyes forward and starting to get results.
Yeah, he's definitely making his way up there, and he's really racing up the front these last few weeks, and he's definitely in contention for the race win week in, week out as well. So a lot of pace from D-Mac, and not afraid to charge it up the front, as we saw him lead quite a few laps early on before this caution, and before this green flag pit stop cycle kind of came about before the caution as well. So as we see D-Mac just hit pit road, he was only on pit road about 10 laps ago under green flag, so it might be just a bit of a top up, and and getting himself back on the fuel strategy from some of these drivers. Is if they do get quarter lap down, it may be a really really unfortunate timing with this pace car coming out at time. So the goal is not to go a lap down and keep up with the lead lap. That's your first milestone, and I'm sure D-Mac will he'll get put back in the running order under this caution by coming down Pier Road. But he's definitely got the pace here tonight at Nashville, so look for him to really take a march up through the field once more and make his way forward.
Well, the top 9 of these trucks down to Smith, well, they're all on, similar to very close strategies, and then another group of trucks just equally as large is on the same strategy, give or take. It's strange not to see all these trucks, Joy, on the same strategy. We see that pretty much most of the time. Is that most of these, if I'd brought up that strategy in other rounds, the blue would line up like, well, you put a spirit level on it. But strange to see. We're all sort of within a lap, so I don't think it's going to make much difference. But they're a little bit staggered, I think, their strategies. But only time will tell. What have we got? 59 and 135. Still, probably only breaching on around about that halfway mark now, and it's still anyone's. I think it's still anyone's.
Yeah, it definitely is anyone's race to get the win here at Nashville. But there is 2 definitive strategies happening at the moment. Not so much a tyre difference. So everyone still looks like they've got the same amount of tyres left to finish this one out. But the fuel strategy is the main one, and they're only separated by 10 laps, so it's not too much. But if a caution comes out in that 10 lap kind of period in between the 2 strategies, it will really advantage some drivers and really disadvantage others.
This is where it comes down to it. Did you envision this? Did you try and envision this? Did you try and put this into your plan or strategy? At 59 and 135, we're probably looking at 1 stop and you'll get home. Geico restart zone is in play. Trent Gosley gets a go at leading this time round. They're gone. They're green again. Varndell up there as well. Remember, a point for leading this race. That could, if you're in the championship, that could be you winning or losing the championship. They all get the little green, off clean and off the restart nicely. Gosley, Varndell, Rocky, Barber, Johnson. That's your 5 at the minute. 96 down the inside of Rocky at the minute. A little bit sideways. Oh no! Big wreck! Big wreck. 96 got loose, Joy. Then everything went to shit. Then really, didn't it? I don't think I can say it any other way. Big lose from the 96, and then she went from bad to worse. Caution again, 4th of the night.
Yeah, under the 4th caution here tonight at Nashville, and it may not look like a super speedway on the specs of the track and the distance, but that was definitely a big one here at Nashville. So I was concentrating on kind of lining myself up to mention the 2 number 4 trucks leading this one, so it might be a bit of a good thing to have the 4 truck like number 4 in your car and be quick. But yeah, everyone kind of played a game of skittles there off of turn 4 on that first lap of the restart.
Let's have a look off this restart right now. Gets a little bit of a tap, a little bit of neck go down, and it's all happened there. Look at this car there. That may be Troy. Oh, I shouldn't laugh. He's up in the air. He's doing somersaults. Cars are going everywhere. And, I think I'm going to get some hate mail after this, Jai, because, well, I actually found that funny. Wasn't 96, it was 900. I do apologise, Ollie, a bit in the comments. But 4th caution, and I found it somewhat humorous, and I don't think a lot of people will, Jai. But, well, there was a car spinning in the air there.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate, and Troy kind of spinning on his lid, so definitely not the way his race wanted to go. But just one of those in the replay that we did see. I wonder if we can just go back to that replay and jump on board with Wade Sheedy and just look at him making his way through. He was leading early with Darren McKenzie, and it's all about keeping your truck clean and from what I saw high above, he did a pretty good job with weaving in and out of all these trucks as they were kind of spinning.
Yeah, look, this could move too, and I tell you, I was scrambling to get them cameras. He misses that one, sidesteps. Bit of JT action, I think, mate. JT, Jonathan Thurston.
Yeah, there's definitely a bit of heads-up driving, and a lot of these incidents, just to make it through, it takes a lot of bit of a luck. But he was definitely on the wheel the whole way through the incident, and kind of keeping his truck clean, as that's the real proper milestone of getting through one of these races, or any NASCAR race in general, is keeping you kind of get clean and making sure you've got something at the end. So definitely up on the wheel on that one, and making his way forward as well. So it was pretty easy to pick in that replay being the right red top for that truck, and yeah, just definitely caught my eye. But these two number 4 trucks with Gosley and Varndale taking it to the rest of the field here tonight.
Have a look at that as well. So 4 and 4. That only means two things, really. You win a race because you're super quick, or you blow engines. So let's hope it's not the latter. We're only around about halfway. Let's see what the 4s can do. 0, 4 and 4. Gosley, Varndale. That will lead us to green very shortly, and then get this show back on the road here at Nashville. Round 13 of the Skypoynt NASCAR Trucks eSeries. What a series it's been. Championship. The Royal Triple Crown as well, Jai. Remember that? That's in play. $1,000 thanks to Skypoynt. And a little bit of an off round last week for our contenders, wasn't it, Jai? The Dave Douglas and co. Well, they had a little bit of a touch and go race. They would be still in play, I think, for the $1,000, and let's hopefully we give it away and spend some of Tom's money.
Yeah, it was definitely a bit of a big hit in the championship points for a lot of drivers that were up in the pretty high in contention for the series as well. So definitely not the week that a lot of those guys wanted, but definitely a week that a few of the drivers that normally finish around mid-pack that had a good result last week, it really helped them in their series as well. So it's really bringing them back into the points lead. So we'll see. Hopefully these two trucks up the front, hopefully they don't get together and make an 8. But a bit of bragging rights with Trent being last week's winner, so he'll be really looking forward to using that momentum and hopefully getting another win here tonight. And young Sebi, the last Varndale to win a truck race, I believe, was his little sister Nicola taking out the Lady Palooza this year. So maybe Seb's got a point to prove that another Varndale can put it on top.
Well, we got the 2 4s bringing us to green. 65 or 135. They got points to prove. They want to beat each other. Gosley, he wants to prove that last week wasn't a fluke. And Sebi's like, I'm better than my sister. I can win a truck race here at a Superspeedway. And it's a Superspeedway here at Nashville as we go green again. Good restart. Gosley, Varndale, Roffey, McKenzie, Williams moved them back through the field a little bit. That could be a little bit of strategy as we go 3 wide. Just briefly, they settle down. Oof. Good restart, 66, 135.
Yeah, I think that may have been Nigel had from a quick glance. Nigel Siegel getting into the door about the line there off of 4. So just a bit of a door bang and pedal to the metal, and they both kept it straight as well. So a little bit of hard racing towards the front, making these decisions, but it really is kind of easy pickings when all these trucks are really bunched together on these starts.
Well, we'll see the difference in tyre wear, the difference in tyre strategy. It's going to come to play. There's a car on the lid, a truck on the lid. Dave Douglas. No, let's have a look at him alone. He's in a good position as well. Skypoynt replay will come up right now. We'll go high in the air. Dave Douglas, I think this is. Number 10 machine. Where is it? Oh, it was back there. It was back there, Pete. We'll go live. We'll get back with that. Jai a little bit eager to get there, but Dave Douglas come off track, then on track. I think that's Adam Malone. We'll go on board. We'll grab another replay. 68 to 135, and now I'll take a breath.
Yeah, it just looks like they went 3-1, couldn't quite know, a little bit of overlap, and then just got tagged in the rear quarter. So 3 didn't quite work out, as it's really the first time tonight we've really seen the 3 wide attempt. So everyone will have their notebooks out and taking notes from that, and maybe just easing it up. But we definitely saw a lot of moves happening on this restart compared to other restarts that we've seen already tonight on the caution and on the restarts.
Well, let's go have a look, and just a little bit of a exclosure here if you're triggered by fast movements. Look away now. Let's jump on board with Adam alone, because, well, I tell you, hopefully he's not in VR, and I do believe he's not. Let's jump on board. Oh, and he landed on his feet too. Well, I tell you, I'm on. I just watched that on screens. I got a bit nausea. Sorry. Oh, Tom had nowhere to go. Adam was hitting the rear. Oh, I tell you, in VR, I don't think you would have survived. I think you would have had to. You know what, Jai?
Yeah, a little bit dizzy then, but I just noticed on the live at the moment, Cade Donnelly just skipping around the outside, so he's just got the lucky dog, and that's put him back on the lead lap. I'm not sure if he's been a lap down the entire time from that first restart violation penalty that he served alongside with Aiden Schultz hitting pit road, but he's just got his lap back, so it's the first thing ticked off his list. As you see, Trent Gosley still leading the field around at the moment, with Darren McKenzie currently in P2 ahead of Sebastian Bundell in 3rd position. So D-Max worked his way up back to the front of this field and really taking it to these guys out the front.
Yeah, it's a good way to take it to the guys up front. Number 4, Trent Gosley. So he's got a little bit of a winner on the other 4 out there, 04N4, Gosley and Vandell. So it's a little bit of an interfield battle that I think it's an interfield commentators battle that we've sort of bought into this one, Jai. But Darren McKenzie has been impressive. He's stayed thereabouts. He's kept his nose clean, and well, I think when he's on. He's had a little bit of bad luck, and bad luck was Sarah Jesberg in the comments, just tuning in right at the right in the onboard of Adam, and what a way to jump right in. Hopefully we didn't scare you off, Sarah. Kobe's doing not too bad also. He's down in 15th at the minute. He's down in pit road, 080 Kobe Jordan. So we'll have to see how this one goes. Mackenzie, Gosley, they seem to be on it. Vandell seems to be on it as well. Jai, the top 3, and well, I think one more stop from here, and I think we'll be able to get home, or we may be on the end of a stint. But I think one more from here to get home, and let's hope it's green.
Yeah, definitely one more, and it's looking like it's heating up a little bit, but a lot of these drivers are still looking to kind of work single file and really calm it down a little bit. So Cabe Jordan currently in 13th, up 25 positions, still on the lead lap, and he's got his teammate of Chris Tomlin sitting right behind him in 14th, up 8 positions. So looking to maybe work together, make their way up, and just kind of just edge their way up through the field and just get it position by position. But definitely in a good position to work together straight away from this restart as they start to form up.
They start to form up 2 by 2. Pace truck will peel off. Let's get the ticker up when you want to play the game. It'll change. Wants to be slow right about now as we call it to green. Biggest mover round about there would be Ruben Phelps, up 25 positions. And I'll stand by that as well. So Ruben Phelps, hardest charger at the minute, 5th caution, lap 71 or 135, round 13 of the Skypoynt NASCAR Trucks eSeries. Mackenzie, what a race he's raced. The strategy has been on point. The guys behind him, well, have they kept up? Have they burnt too much to keep up? Only time will tell, I think, Jai, as Trent Gosley will lead us to green. Geico restart zone will be in play. He's gone. Seb went with him. Darren went with him. And Kim Roffey, Nigel Seidel all went with him. Good start, but very good start from Trent. Brings it down, drops it down, and away we go again. Lap 72 of 135. Three wide and a little bit of the background there. We got the 98 of Stevie Williams in a battle. He wants to go down the middle of Dave Douglas, and the 199 of Kim Roffey, or 099, closes the door. Stevie Dub still left there three wide with Wade Sheedy and another Roffey, and also Ruben Phelps in there for company. A good little battle. 73 of 135. Ruben Phelps has had a good strategy as he loses the position to one of the Roffies, Steve Williams. Let's see what he can do. 98 machine. He's got Wade Sheedy behind him. Wade Sheedy's going to have green and rubber. We'll trundle a little bit further up. The 10 machine of Dave Douglas, side by side, wants to go down underneath Nigel Seidel as we move our way up. Good battles. Nice green, a clean restart, Jai. Josh just stepped away, or I'm not too sure about his audio. A little bit of side draft there. 10 and 69 having a good battle. Dave Douglas, he gets underneath. Steve Williams wants to have a go here as well. Let's jump on board. Well, they're all banked up. And let's have a look. And thanks to Track Cams and Gourmets, we get some good angles. Come back, how good was that? The sounds and the sides here at Nashville. Jai stepped away, internet problems I do believe. We've got Tom Pritchard in here though, director of Skypoint and a competitor here. Tom, what's going on, mate?
Mate, I think I'm pulling my front teeth out of my steering wheel currently after that impact. It was, I don't know what I did. And had nowhere to go, just crushed me straight into the wall. So yeah, fun times. Really good race. I was having a great time actually, and it was pretty competitive. It was front guys there, so good show. That's racing, as they say.
That is racing, as they say. We got Jai back now. Bit of internet dramas, mate. The stream's still going strong. You haven't missed much. We've got a long green running here for the Skypoynt NASCAR Trucks eSeries. How good is it? Lap 77 of 135, Jai. Darren McKenzie still out in front. Good battle in the middle though. Ruben Phelps is starting to really put the pressure on the back of Craig Roffey.
Yeah, apologies for that, people. Discord seemed to have a bit of a heart attack, but yeah, definitely back now and everything's looking smooth. So back to being able to call this race with you and have time in the chat too is not the under the best circumstances, but always good to have you in the chat as well, Tom.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I mean, it's red hot out there. The pace is really, really fast, and it's quite funny. In the middle of that pack there, which is where I was, it's really quite aggressive. The cars are really close, and everyone's kind of really jostling for position. And as the tyres wear and the cars start sliding more and more, it gets really, really dicey. So I think you're going to see as this stint here wears on and we get closer to the finish, definitely some really, really top quality racing from back there.
What are we talking in the way of tyre strategy, Tom? You're off the track now. You don't have to give too much away in the way of team, team the way they're going to do things, but strategy, Pete, that's the word. But how long till it's noticeable that the tyres go away, mate? It's a super speedway, but you definitely don't drive it like one.
Yeah, it's certainly not really a traditional super speedway, but it's and I've got to say the tyres really do play a major factor here. I mean, that first set of tyres were down the belt, and I just changed. To be honest, I was kind of hunting around if there was an opportunity in the next, for a caution in that next bit of the race. I was definitely going to take advantage of it and grab a new set. So we've got 3 sets over the wall. You've got 4 sets in this race, which gives you plenty of opportunity to make sure you're driving on some nice fresh tyres. But the trick is you obviously only want to come in and get tyres when there's a yellow flag. If you get a green flag, it's lost on time.
Well, that's it, and it's all about the strategy. 83 of 135, so we're well over halfway now. We spoke about it, Jai. The last caution period was one to get home as we get back up the front. Darren McKenzie leading quite comprehensively over Sebastian Vandel. Trent Gosley, he wants to go with him as well. Trent Gosley is a driver I don't think we spoke about much in this sort of state of the race, Jai, where he's up the front and looking like it. I don't think, and I'll go, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think Trent Gosley has travelled this far up the front.
He did win last week. He got his first victory in the series last week, so coming off the back of that and really using the momentum of that win here tonight, running P3, chasing down Sebi Vandel here for the second position as well. So I know we've had a bit of a pending question here in the booth tonight, Pete, and having Tom in the chat may be able to bring a little bit of insight on that question that has been pending for majority of the race. But was it really the front tyres that were kind of hurt, or was it the rear being the concrete surface here in Nashville?
I was just going to say, go on board now with Sebi Vandel. I can see that those front tyres of his are really starting to not give him a lot of help. He's also losing it in the rear on the exit of the corner, but you'll see how hard he's having to work on the vehicle to actually keep that car, going around the track on the fast line there. So you see him, he's struggling to pull it down on the race line there. He's kind of now trying to get on the gas. It's kind of now hurtling, kind of wobbling. Oh, he just nicked the wall there. So you can definitely tell he's definitely on the I mean, he looks cool as a cucumber as always, but he's very much. Oh, that's not so cool as a cucumber. But he's just at this point in time he's trying to keep it clean, because if you do touch the wall, it slows you down immensely. And that car is what he's doing, what we call ploughing. It's just ploughing up the track. He's turning the wheel, and the wheels aren't actually taking the car in the direction that he's pointing. So he's very vulnerable here to Craig Roffey, and I'd suggest give him another couple of laps, and he'll be probably getting past.
Well, I don't think a couple of laps is all it's going to take. Craig Roffey showing the nose already in the 030 machine. Down the inside is going to get him here. And Sebi Vandel, it was quite evident that he was quite annoyed at himself. He knew he touched that wall, and you knew also, Tom, that he would touch that wall. I've just bumped everyone up to Ryan, so gives a shout out with the audio. Get a little bit excited now with the car engine sounds here in ovals, because how good's the sound, and the engine sounds. Hopefully it's a bit better too as well, thanks to, can't even give him credit, the guy that put the new code in the it was on an iRacing Down Under page actually, that the bit of I&I code to get a little bit better audio. Can't give him credit. Yeah, I can't give him credit, but thank you to whoever put it.
Sebi needs to be real careful here. He's looking very vulnerable, and he's got some big players who are coming up behind him. What's really important here is that he doesn't lose his cool and try and defend at all costs, because what will happen is if he keeps on trying to block some of these passes from happening, he'll get turned, and that'll be race over. So he needs to keep cool. There'll be another set of tyres that he can throw on in another couple laps. All it's going to take is a yellow flag, and he's in the red hot seat then. So what he needs to do is just be patient, let a few cars past if that's what's coming, and just try and maintain his position on the lead lap.
Well, if we're going to listen to anyone, we're going to listen to Tom, aren't we, Jai? Because, well, I think the league Super Speedway's kings. I think I'll quote that again in this broadcast. Jai, what do you reckon? Super Speedway Kings is named after Tom.
Yeah, Tom's definitely pretty handy in the super speedways, but Sebi with the not so much experience in the ovals, but what I did notice before that little touch up in the wall was really creating that wide, late kind of arc into the corners as well. So how important is that, Tom, when your tyres start going off, to kind of have that technique on board of really opening the corner and using that real wide arc entry into the corners?
Well, you want to be putting as little pressure and as little heat through the tyre as you can, and obviously the best way to do that is to give them the widest turning arc that you possibly can. You know, the sharper you have to turn the wheel, the more heat you're going to put through it, the more stress you put through it, and then the harder it wears. So, you know, it's really important to be smooth. You know, who knows how long this next segment of the race is going to go before another yellow. So you may have to battle on with these tyres for another few laps yet. Looks like there's a lot of cars struggling. I'm even looking at you know, I think even Darren's kind of starting to feel the pressure of those tyres starting to, you know, certainly not be at their best. But it is just critical that these guys really try and maintain, certainly not hit the wall, but also try and maintain a nice wide arc, as you say, and also not get caught up with lap traffic, because there's a lot of traffic, and around this track it seems to be very congested when there's lap traffic coming back in here.
And do you take anything away from it? Like, it's a super speedway, but it's actually shorter than a 1.5 mile, mate. So what do you take out of that? Because super speedway, I don't know. Someone says super speedway to me, I think Talladega, I think Daytona, I think Flatfoot, follow the inside line. This isn't like it. Super speedway, it's a short super speedway. Does it race anything like a super speedway? And can you clarify a little bit more in why do you think they would have called it one if it doesn't do any of them things?
Well, okay, so I've done a little bit of my research on what this track was only fairly recently kind of you know, brought about in the iRacing series. Now, Nashville Superspeedway over in the US, the people that own the speedway get to choose the name of the speedway. So I think that they may have had some kind of dream of it being a super speedway. They called it that, and then it's kind of stuck. I can assure you, I'm no expert, but I can tell you now, this ain't no super speedway. So yeah, I don't know who's in charge of naming them, but it's certainly not what I would define as a super speedway. There's certainly no full throttling going on around any of these corners. You basically lift before you get to the corner kind of entry. You'll lift and you're off the gas completely until you're basically in the middle of the apex. So it's a big lift and hold, you know, track. Oh, here we go. Darren's looking like he's coming in.
Darren McKenzie, first to blink. You can get home from here. 97 of 135. McKenzie in the lane. Trent Gosley resumes the lead of the race, Jai. So, well, a couple of drivers that want to go for the splash and dash. And I do presume if you're going to do that, Jai, if you're Darren McKenzie right now, you're changing tyres, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely taking a new set of boots on, and D-Mac here, first one to pull the trigger on this final stop as well. So he'll be looking for the undercut and really making advantage of these fresh tyres with about 38 laps to go, I believe. So
a long stint, isn't it, on those on the fuel? Have we been getting that kind of mileage?
I believe we have been getting upwards of around the 40 to 45, okay. I think. But definitely still a long way to go on tyres. So he's definitely going to have to kind of keep that in the back of his mind and not push too hard too soon and then have nothing left at the end. So, but definitely the first one to pull the trigger and looking to get that undercut advantage on the fresh tyres, as we saw earlier in tonight. It was worth about 2 seconds over the older tyres. So definitely a lot of time to make up here by D-Mac.
Yeah, I suppose it depends on whether you've got 2 tyres left in the bank or whether you've just got this last set of tyres in the bank. If you've got 2, you take a set of tyres now, you get on the fresh tyres and you bolt and you drive as fast as you can, and then if a safety car comes out, you throw on your last pair of boots and away you go, and hands in the air like you just don't care, basically. But, you know, obviously if you've only got 1 set of tyres left, you've got to really conserve them all the way to the finish.
Yeah, it's exactly right, and with a few more drivers hitting pit road at this stage as well, there's still about that 10 lap difference in the two definitive strategies as well. So this is the time that these drivers hitting pit road do not want to caution, because if they get trapped a lap down, it's going to be really hard to get that lap back down, and you don't have that much time to make it up.
Their lap count goes into triple figures, 101 of 135. 102 out of 135, a little bit high up into the wall for one of the Southern Stars cars there. A couple of drivers peel off down pit road as we get into the middle or 2/3 stage of this race. Gosley, how good of a job he's done in the 4. We've seen him battling with the other 4 out here tonight, and it's good to see some green flag running, and this will all come back together towards the last 10 laps of the race, won't it, Jai? Up 34 positions for this man right here, 06 Reuben Phelps. He's played a good race and raced a good race so far. He's up the pointy end. He's up 34. He's up everything. Will tyres come away? Has he made the wrong decision, running long, running short? Jai, the 06, looking for a strong finish, currently in 3rd. Can he hang on?
Yeah, he's got about at least another 6-7 laps that he can go on fuel, so he'll be looking to kind of stay out and hope for a caution, trap a few of these drivers down. But there's really only 2 calls you can make at the moment. Is you pit now, and that way you're on the fresh tyres, you're not giving that 2 seconds a lap up to guys that have already stopped, or you stay out and hope for the caution and trap them a lap down as well. So it really comes down to the strategy and a bit of luck on if a caution does fall, where it does fall.
This is the risky moment right now. They're coming in and out of pit lane, and this is right now so easy for a car to spin on the exit or the entry of the pit lane. So I'd be keeping a hot little eye on what's going on, entries and exits, because I tell you what, all it takes is one person to be a bit ambitious on either the brake or the throttle, and they will be facing the wrong way very quickly.
Let's have a look at some of the exits. Andy Barber exits the pit lane. We've got Kim Roffey in the pit lane. Nigel Seidel in the pit lane as well. Andy Barber got off there nice and easy, mate. He didn't spin it, and that's I suppose would be a relief for you, mate. Just talking about it.
Yeah, he had a bit of a nightmare at the start of the race. He got caught up in that first incident on I think it was lap 1 or 2, and had to give him a little bit of a counsel to get back, get his head back in the game. He was kind of a bit down and said, thought it was all over. But of course, the beauty of these kind of races is you get a safety car, you can get in, you can fix any repairs up if there are only minor repairs to be had. He's looking competitive. Unlike my car, I think my car looks a bit like a Barina right now.
Yeah, well, we just watched Sebi had a little bit of a we got in there. He got in there. I just thought I'd have a look because I was having a look at his webcam up ahead of me on the 4th monitor, and it was a little bit touch and go there, but he definitely got in there, and no harm, no foul. Have a look at this battle up the front though. Roffey, Sheedy, Douglas, they're all fighting and vying for a place in this race. There we go. I'm getting taking a leaf out of Andy and Aidan's book, making everything rhyme right now. But Roffey, Sheedy, Douglas, they're doing a good job. Have a look at them, top 3. And we go caution, 108. We got a car around. We got a couple of cars around. Sebastian Vandel's involved in that. Let's go back over to a Skypoynt replay. Tom, you must love the ring of that.
It's really an untimely caution there in the middle of the green flag pit cycle once more again. So we're just having a look at Sebi doing a bit of drifty action, a bit of overcorrection, and comes up in the field, and a few trucks had nowhere to go there. So it just goes to show on the earlier replay with his entry and also this one with the exit how important it is to get on and off pit road and really maximise the time that you can really make up on pit road, getting on and off and not losing the time as well. So definitely pushing hard, and a bit of cold tyres getting loose, and just a bit of an overcorrection by Sebi. So a bit of a pushing too hard too soon.
Yeah, taking Andy Barber out, I think, for that one.
Couple of cars, 4 cars involved, or probably 5 or 6 cars involved. 4 cars heavily involved, and that must hurt a bit, Tom. Teammate, and wearing the Skypoynt livery. Taken out of action. Craig Roffey leading this race. He's going to peel off, and that was a long green run, wasn't it, Jai? But that brings everyone back in tune now, and untimely for the people that timed their run to the end. Superb, and those guys that done that, unfortunately, for doing the homework and to getting themselves to the position where they can get home. Well, that's pretty much gone. Thanks for doing that, but everyone else now is on the same strategy. So now I think the battle for the lead is not at 3 or 4 cars with the 26 to go, Jai. It's probably around about 15.
Yeah, well, that the time the caution did come out has trapped a lot of cars 1 lap down as well now. So they'll stay out under this caution and get it a wave round once we go 1 to go. But these, I think there was about 4 or 5 drivers that hadn't stopped that yet, that just came to pit road, so they'll be put right up to the front of the pack, still on the fresh tyres as well, and everyone's going to have to chase them down and really make a run for it. But we're getting into the final stages here tonight, and it's going to be a bit of a heated run to the finish, I believe.
It's going to be It is going to be, sorry Tom to butt in, it's going to be a heated and saucy run to the finish. We just brought Sebi Mandel into the broadcast, mate. What happened, buddy? What happened?
Cold tyres, and my dad walked in and said hurry up and get to bed, so I got a bit distracted.
No, blame Dad. Dad always gets the blame. Come on, mate. No, but how's your race been up to that point, mate?
It was going alright. I hit the wall a couple of times, which didn't help the car. But yeah, I just feel really bad to everyone that I've just wrecked.
Well, I think Dad gets his wish. You crashed out, so you got to go to bed. But unfortunate for the rest of them. But yeah, Seb, how's the track going, mate? It's Superspeedway, and when we've spoke about this for most of the race, us in the broadcast booth here tonight. But it's called a Superspeedway, Nashville Superspeedway. Is there any characteristics that's the same, or is it just they were just dreaming when they named the place?
You know me, Pete, I don't know much about ovals, but as far as I know, every super speedway is flat out, and this is definitely not flat out.
Well, I take that as he agrees with me, Jai, and
Yes.
the bloke that named it is dreaming when he called it a super speedway. We've spoken about that already, Jai. Seb's already getting a hurry on, mate. We better get him. We better get him off to bed and tucked in from his dad and his mum. But anything you want to add, Jai?
No, just really good race up to that point, obviously, Seb, and running up the front and really taking it to these heavy hitters here in the NASCAR truck. So definitely a good job, and definitely chasing that win. As I believe one Barndale's had a truck win so far, so you're chasing that win hopefully for the rest of the season, or.
Well,
I'm going to take some of the credit for her win. I was crew chief.
You weren't holding the wheel, so you can't take anything. But anyway, you're not going to win this one, so it's Nikki 1, Seb 0. We'll keep that tally up for everyone on Tuesday night, Sebby. Well, you better get to bed, mate. And we'll talk to you later on. But not the best ending to tonight. But thanks for your time here tonight.
No, definitely not the best ending, but once again, I'd just like to apologise to everyone who races I've ruined. I feel really bad, but yeah.
That's racing, Seb. All good. Have a good night, mate, and we'll get back to calling the rest of the race. 24 laps to go here for round 13 of the Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series. Bit of a piss take there, Jai, but Seb is good for it. And Tom's in there as well as the pace truck peels off. We're going to get green as the... No, we're not, are we? A little bit of a confusion here off the start. We're going green. We're going green anyway. We're going green. Bit of a confusion off the start. Dave Douglas leads us to green. Craig Roffey. I think we got a out of sequence car, but we're going to run with it. 23 laps to go here at Nashville.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a bit of an odd-looking restart there, but that was all the drivers that were a lap down at the point of caution that got the wave around. So when they get the wave around, they all line up on the inside line, and they don't use both lines if they've gotten a wave around. So bit of an odd start, but a lot of these drivers will be on the lead lap now. So it's hard racing to the finish as well.
Tell you who's looking strong. D-Mac is looking very strong right now. He is moving up through the field, picking a couple of cars off. I think now, where does he sit? He's sitting in third, and it's a matter of time. I think he's going to be really trying to take it up to Douglas. And I was behind Douglas earlier in the race, and I thought definitely at that point in time, Mackenzie had his measure. So Darren's looking good.
Yeah, Darren has looking good, and we said at the top of the broadcast, Darren McKenzie, 02 Southern Stars entry. He's due for one. He's due for a good position, and in fact, the last few races, he has in fact got them steps, the moving forward, the positive moving forward, and the positions. We spoke to him, I think, 1 or 2 rounds ago, Jai, on the podium. So, and it all started from there tonight. Well, he's up there again. He's sitting there in third. He's led a lot of this race. 20 laps to go. Everyone's on the same strategy. Will the people that have sort of been on the longer run of tyres suffer? What's the pit strategy, Jai, with Craig Roffey and Wade Sheedy either side of him? Do you know if they can capitalise on Darren McKenzie's long run, or has Darren McKenzie got him covered?
Oh, they're definitely on the same strategy, tyres and fuel, and they're all good to go all the way to the checkered flag. If there's caution or green flag, running the whole way to the finish. But the top 3 just did their personal best lap, so they're definitely charging forward and definitely kind of turning up the wick as we see late on in the races, week in, week out here at the Skypoynt Truck. So Darren's got the race best lap 2 laps ago, so he's definitely put the pressure onto Craig Roffey, but 1.5 seconds up the road, Dave Douglas in P1 kind of skipped away on that restart. Really used that to his advantage with the lap cars and the way the restart kind of started out. So he'll be looking to manage that gap and kind of stay in front. But D-Mac, definitely on the pace, and we'll have to keep a kind of an eye on to see if he's going to work with Craig to get back to Dave, or if he's just going to send it and get that pass made and then carry off up the road and try and catch Dave Douglas in the lead here.
Well, Dave Douglas, who's put what in his fuel tank? Because these guys are battling Roffey and McKenzie for second and third position. And Dave Douglas, have a look at this. He's out on a Sunday drive. He's just gone. He's put his elbow on the windscreen. He's probably got a durry aching out of his mouth, and he's just driving along. Yeah, let's turn left. Let's turn left. Let's turn left. It's a Sunday drive for Dave Douglas, and everyone else is battling. But has he gone too soon? Can Roffey and McKenzie come back as McKenzie now starts to turn the wick up on the back of Roffey?
Great, can't go under him. He's going to go over him.
Yeah, well, we seen him do that last week, and he got himself a penalty. It's a typical get out of the way move. 0-2 round the high line. High line, we know you'll have the run. There is contact. Oh, it's always a risk of getting a little bit of neck code there. Darren McKenzie does it the hard way, round the outside, gets it done. McKenzie 0-2, up 8, up into second again. But Jai Roffey still pushing on.
Yeah, as we just go into caution with 15 to go, but definitely a good run around the outside and using that momentum around the corner to really use that run. So the important thing there was Darren actually got to the rear quarter of Craig there and really used the side draft in the corner to his advantage. And it was also the first truck tonight that I've seen actually use that front stretch apron as well.
Let's have a look at Skypoynt replay of what happened around the caution. Oh! Well, that's easy to do, isn't it? Get a little bit up there and put your foot down. And I tell you, I've done a few laps around here today, Jai. And, well, the first couple of laps on track, that's what would happen. And also, when the tyres worn out, that's what would happen. So, that's a good indication, I think, Jai. Tyres are looking a little bit slim for that driver right there. 14 laps to go. It's going to be an all-out blast here, round 13 of the Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series. Tom, Dave Douglas, Skirley, they're looking hungry to take you $1,000 for the Skypoynt Royal Triple Crown. Do you think it's still? Do you think it's doable for a couple of the drivers?
There might be an outside chance, possibly, but look, we're going to be racing pretty hard in these last couple of races, especially the super speedways. They are, of course, our favourite kind of race, or my favourite kind of race. So, yeah, we'll be we're planning on taking it to them to really try and win these races. We're not trying to defend. We're just going to go out and win the races. So, you know, I look at Douglas here and his car. You know, you got to take your hat off to him, and for that matter, D-Mac. I mean, both their cars are spotless, immaculate. I think that maybe there's a slight ding on the rear of the two cars, but you know, they've done a great job tonight. It's been pretty heavy racing, pretty close battling, and yeah, they're definitely, either of them deserve to take a win tonight. So let's see how they go. Could they? You never know. They could take each other out, and someone does a Bradbury, comes through for the win.
Well, mate, you've been here long enough to be called a commentator, and have you done it? Have you cast your first commentator's curse? Well, time will tell when we go yellow.
Mate,
but
I've got to say, I was pronouncing earlier tonight, and you know, I haven't told Dave this, but I was pronouncing that tonight was going to be a Dave Douglas bloodbath. That's what I was.
Oof.
That's what I was forecasting.
Big words from a competitor, but it's probably a bad time to segue into this. But I'm gonna segue into it anyway. Tom, director of Skypoynt, and also naming rights sponsor, and also organiser of this league, mate. NASCAR Trucks eSeries every Tuesday night. You must be happy with the way, for one, the series gone, and for two, the way the series heading. It's been pretty cool, mate. I think we called it an absolute sellout last week within minutes. And this week, we didn't get a sellout at 60, but we got a lot of trucks in. So as an admin and sponsor and all things Tom, you must be pretty much happy with the way the series going, mate. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, thanks, Pete. I mean, it's been really cool to build or build up this community as it has become. And you know, we're over 100 members strong now, and you know, that's continuing to grow. We got interest always, but what's most important about the group is to you know, ensure that we provide a really good platform for this racing and make sure that that's top notch. You know, a lot of the other stuff kind of look after itself, but you know, from everyone from you guys doing the broadcast to Andy working on a lot of the graphics and a lot of the kind of visual stuff and the video snippets. I mean, all of that stuff, and also, you know, the paint jobs on the cars, you can't forget that too. So there's a lot of work that goes into actually doing this. And you know, we're looking in the next season to bring on a few more sponsors, which is going to be exciting. So if you're a business out there and you see the broadcast and you are interested in you know, being involved in a community of these, you know, passionate people who are into this kind of really, you know, interesting way of using their computer to basically race cars, you know, on a simulation, you know, it's definitely something that you can get involved with, and we'd be very interested in yeah, getting you on board. So yeah, there's some great things coming in Series 3, and that's only a few weeks away now, given that we're only a couple of weeks away from the end of Series 2.
Well, I tell you, and jump on board if you're a business, if you want to sponsor this great league. I'd love to shout out your business, and I promise to hopefully you know, get your plug out there without an error most of the time, but it's all in the character, it's all in the character building of everything, and that's the way we do things here. And I think we all work in well as a team for the Skypoynt NASCAR Trucks eSeries. We're here for round 13. We've got 3 to go after this one. 11 laps to go in this one. Right now, Dave Douglas leads us to green. A very late restart. Bottom line gets the message. The top line doesn't. Dave Douglas using all the road. We're back green again. 10 laps to go. Elbows are out. How good is it?
Yeah, it's going to definitely heat up here as we've got a few different tyre strategies as well. So those top four on the restart did not take tyres. Ruben Phelps currently in 4th place, took right sides only, and then everyone else on the lead lap took all 4. So look for the trucks a bit later on. It's a bit of a squeeze. And a few trucks are going to get caught up in this one. But yeah, definitely a bit of a tyre strategy and a few track position calls as well. So a few more trucks got taken out in that one, and it looked like that may have been a few more lead lap cars as well. So, but good news for Chris Tomlin. If he was managed to avoid any incidents in that one, he's in the lucky dog position currently.
There's the 212 there, up 10 positions. What a time! Like we got half a lap. We were just talking up. Yeah, we've been green for so long. Trent Gosley, and you said there was a lot of people that were in the hunt to win this. Trent Gosley went off track. Nigel Cedar, Wellman, I think Roffey's involved in that. Luke Crum was involved in that. Let's go back to a Skypoint replay and let's try and unpack this, Jai, because I didn't get most of it. I can just see the names in text. We go high in the air. We'll slow it down if needed. Let's have a look. 3 wide. Oh, it all happened there, didn't it? All happened there like it ping-ponged the middle car, I think, and it all just unsettled the rest.
Yeah, it was a bit of a squeeze, and a few cars just getting caught up against the wall. And as they try to regain control and come back across the track, a few more cars are going to get caught up in this one late on. So definitely not the kind of scenario that a lot of these drivers are looking at late on in the race, but definitely turning up the wick. And as we see, just coming through the centre of shot now, and Chris Tomlin kind of keeping the truck nice and clean, not getting involved in that one. So I believe he will get the lucky dog on this caution. So yeah, when we go back to green, there's only going to be about 5 or 6 laps to run, so it's definitely going to be even more of a sprint race.
And that's also, it's fair enough, but if you're an innocent bystander in a situation where you're the lead lap, the lucky dog contender, meaning you're the first car being on the lap down, and a car just taps you, doesn't even unsettle your car, but just taps you. You get a 0x car contact in the incident that brings out a caution, and you're in the lead lucky dog position. You don't get it. It's a part of racing. It happens in real life, but that's unlucky. I've been in that position probably about 2 or 3 times, and you absolutely go off your tree. Well, I did anyway, but not this occasion. 212, he'll get the lucky dog. Jai.
Yeah, definitely getting that lucky dog, as we just saw him go around and get that lucky dog, or take that lucky dog. So he is definitely on the lead lap once more. But yeah, if iRacing score you as a 0, 1, 2, or 4x incident, you do lose that lucky dog, and I believe it goes on to the next candidate for that lucky dog. So definitely good to really slow it down and keep the truck clean in that incident and get your lead lap back. So we currently have 11 cars on the lead lap as it stands, with a little bit of tyre strategy still in play. So we're going to have the top 3 on this restart of Douglas, McKenzie and Roffey on the older tyres out of anybody. And then we've got Ruben Phelps in P4. He took right side tyres, I believe. And then we've got Finlay, Williams, Sheedy, Donnelly, Tomlin, Gosley and Wellman that all took 4 tyres in that last stop.
So it's anyone's guess is what I'm getting at the minute. Darren McKenzie we've seen up the front. Dave Douglas, we know how he races. Excuse me, hiccups have come in. Again, it must be the Jim Beam consumption. Every round, get hiccups. But Dave Douglas, Darren McKenzie, Craig Roffey, Rubens Phelps, Williams and Finlay. They've been there and thereabouts for so many rounds, and they haven't really been able to convert. Jai, and we've all witnessed that, and they're all drivers that can win races time and time again as we go 5 to go. The lights are going out. Do you think anyone outside the top 10 is still a contender?
Well, the only driver outside the top 10 currently at the moment is Chris Tomlin, who's just got his lap back. The next car in 12th position is Aiden Schultz, currently scored 1 lap down, so he'll be hoping for maybe one more caution and getting that lap back. But yeah, in this top 10, it's definitely anyone's game as we start to see them form up for this restart, and once we take the green, there'll be 4 laps to go. So look for Dave Douglas to get the jump and kind of hold the lead, but D-Mac restarting on that outside pole. He's definitely looked speedy all night, and he's really been up the front for majority of the night as well. So it's only really been the pit stop cycles that's put him back in the field. So he's definitely got pace here tonight, and he's already shown the pace that he can carry around the outside of these cars. So look for D-Mac to make a really strong charge around the outside, but also all these trucks behind him, they'll be looking for the mistake up the front and trying to get a few more positions as we come up to the Gryco restart zone to start 4 laps to go to the end of this one.
They go at the end of it. Once again, Dave Douglas brings us the green. He's got Darren McKenzie alongside him for company. Also, Roffey, Phelps, Williams. They're all in the hunt. Have they done the math? Have they done the equation right? All these drivers, top 4 or 5 drivers, should be on the same tyre strategy. It's tyres here at Nashville. Round 13, Skypoynt NASCAR Trucks eSeries. Douglas, McKenzie, Roffey. That's where it is right now. 4 laps to go. Douglas, what a restart. Side by side, we got Stevie Dubs, Stevie Williams. Get up there, son. We want to interview you. He's gone around the outside. He wants to have a crack. Let's go. This is the end of this series. Let's stay green. Douglas, McKenzie, and Roffey. They're the 3 that I'm watching on.
Yeah, that top 3 just did a really good job on that restart, holding the top 3 position. So on the older tyres, doing a really good job. Ruben Phelps looking down to really run down Craig Roffey here up the front, and he's on the fresh right side tyres. So maybe he should have a little bit more grip in his arsenal to really make a charge forward as we go 2 laps to go. So if we make it around one more time and hit the white flag, the next flag will end at no green, white checker at all. So it's really hotting up to this finish.
You will have a look, Dave Douglas, McKenzie, sorry, there, Tom. Right. They're really heating it up for 4-car train, and they know, elbows out. It doesn't matter. We want to go. And they're going to get the draft. They're going to get the pull down the straight. There's a little bit of a move trying to happen. Phelps and Roffey side by side. Side draft will be in play. He goes down the inside. So Ruben Phelps, will we talk to him on the podium once again? Well, time will tell. We got final lap happening. Dave Douglas leading the championship, leading the Royal Triple Crown. Will he be able to bring it home? Will he be able to hold McKenzie? It looks like it. The battle, Roffey and Phelps. That's where the battle's going to be over the line, and I see it. Ruben Phelps only just takes home 3rd. Congratulations, Dave Douglas and McKenzie. That's your top 2. Fight for 2nd and 3rd. How good was that? Stevie Dub, he's up 7. Can only bag a top 5. But Phelps and Roffey, that was a good fight. But Phelps wins that one. He comes home in 3rd. Sorry, guys, I spoke over you. Got a little bit excited. Top 4. How good was the finish? Round 13. Tom's company, Skypoynt NASCAR Truck eSeries. But wow. Ruben Phelps all over it at the end. Give it a lap or 2. He might have had the tyres to go all the way. Dave Douglas, let's open up the screen. Winner, round 13 here in Nashville.
Yeah, great job by Dave Douglas, and great job by you guys. That was a great call. So yeah, I'll head off. I've got to go and get myself ready for the review, of course, which is as we know, the main event after the race. But yeah, thanks for the time in the booth, and we'll see you hopefully in the winner's circle at the Superspeedways.
Yeah, mate, definitely. Thanks, Tom. Number 10, Dave Douglas. Congratulations on the series, Dave. So we'll have to get Andy in the commentary. I think, Jai, or maybe you might even be able to clarify. Is that given the series to Dave Douglas?
I'm not too sure on how the points have really set out, and if that was enough for him to cement his position in P1 in the series. So might have to get a bit of clarification from Andy Barber. The other guy that runs and makes this league all possible alongside Tom. So definitely doing a stellar job. But yeah, definitely confirmation from Andy on that one. But just coming through turn 3 and 4, Craig Roffey really sending it in there and really fighting for that last step on the podium, and didn't quite work off, and those right side tyres that Ruben took in that last stop really paying off for him. So another podium finish for Ruben in P3.
Yeah, we'll get to have a chat with them in a minute. Dave Douglas, what a send at the end. How good was it? Burnouts to boot. He's got plenty of fuel left. He's doing the there's a proper NASCAR wording for this. What Dave Douglas is doing right now, Jai. I won't balls it up. I'm sure you know what it is.
Yeah, they call it the salute to the fans. So what Dave's doing here is then NASCARs. They sit on the left side of the car and drive as a left-hand driver, obviously, and it's putting the driver's window as close to the fans as possible and giving them a wave and kind of a thanks for the support and thanks for coming along and making NASCAR what it is. So a bit of a salute to the fans, Dave, and it's the reverse lap of honour.
How good is it? Dave Douglas, car number 10, truck number 10, I should say. He salutes the fans here at Nashville Superspeedway, although, well, Superspeedway, it's only a Superspeedway, what we've been hearing from the name, all intended purposes, just the name. Dave Douglas rips it up there at pit entry. Nashville, though, Jai, how good was it, mate? We only had a few cautions. And the racing, when we were green, and when it did, all the battles that took place, that's another successful round, mate. That's it was quite a cool race to call, actually. Asphalt surface, super speedway in name, but definitely not the case in the way of racing. Tyres, well, if you had the best of them, like Dave Douglas, you won the race. If you're in there for the hunt. And, Nashville, concrete, Dave Douglas. They're 3 words that I think for the rest of the series that we'll remember, Jai. But great race from Dave Douglas. And to be honest, great race from all involved because it looked tough.
Yeah, it was definitely a tough race. And I do believe that's the shortest circuit that we actually go to in the series as well. So a bit of a different circuit and layout for these drivers for what they're used to. But it did create some good racing. A little bit of a slow start with 2 early cautions, but we did get 2 full green flag runs as well during the race. So it was a little bit start-stop at times, but a lot of green flag racing throughout the race as well. So we had a bit of everything here in Nashville, and it was definitely a bit of anyone's game and definitely a good race to call and good race to watch play out.
100%. Round 13, turned it on rather at Nashville, and we'll talk to the podium in a minute because how good was it, Dave Douglas? You can see his car still on screen at the minute. Dave Douglas, Darren McKenzie, Ruben Phelps is your podium here at Nashville. How good was it? The battles, well, I couldn't pick it. Jai and Tom was in the broadcast booth for a long time. They may have been able to pick what was going to happen, but I sure couldn't. Craig Roffey, Steve Williams. Good to see Steve Williams. If anyone knows NASCAR, if anyone knows the NASCAR scene on iRacing, Stevie Dub is his nickname. Stevie Williams, well, definitely in 5th position. It's good finishing position, but if anyone knows, like I was saying, 5th is probably not where he's used to. He's probably used to being up the front. Also, another driver, mate, is Holdsworth. He was further down the field than what we would have expected. It's Nitro Racing not having the best of luck in this series, mate. But we all know that Jason, he'll fight back, won't he, Jai?
Yeah, definitely looks strong every event that he rocks up to and runs up the front in numerous times and looks quite strong running up the front while doing so as well. But just noticed in the results as we see them on screen at the moment, the top 7 trucks were from 7 different teams as well. So a lot of strong showing, and just goes to show that it was really anyone's race here tonight.
Yeah, it's pretty good, and it was anyone's race too, wasn't it? Because the cautions felt like they felt They fell rather. They felt like they fell. Try and say that 5 times pretty quick. But they felt like they fell in odd times. We have seen it in previous rounds, Dry, that they fell into the hands of the tire and fuel strategy. Tonight, I felt that they didn't do that. They felt in awkward times, and people were having to, decide stay out, go in, and in NASCAR, it's pretty much it goes yellow, you go in, but not tonight.
Yeah, it was definitely just the awkwardness of the timing of the cautions here tonight. That it was really those 2 green flag runs that we saw some drivers coming in to do their green flag pit stop, and then before the other half of the field could do their green flag pit stop, the caution would come out. So it really split the strategy, and it really fell in the right place for a lot of these drivers, but also at the same time it disadvantaged a lot of drivers as well, getting kind of quarter lap down in that green flag cycle as the caution came out halfway through and trapped a few drivers a lap down, as we really saw that to effect in that second green flag pit stop cycle when the caution did come out.
And it's good to see all them pit stops play out and all the different strategies. And I tell you, there's probably what was there, 45 drivers, and I reckon there's probably around about 45, maybe 80 different strategies going around tonight, to be honest, because it all just played out. And I feel just by the movement in some of the track positionings didn't play out with the way the rest of the field would have liked, and up 34 positions for Reuben Phelps. We'll get a chat with him, and definitely got to be the hardest charger of the night. And then we had a couple as well. Peter Jones down the field, he was up 24. Maxie Marshall was up 29. He could only make it to 14th position. Up 22 for Tristan Koch, and up 21 for Denny Vassell, and 22 for Pacey Clegg. So plenty of guys that could make the position, Sty, but just not make the position at the end to count.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of movers and shakers as the race went on, and definitely with that strategy really mixing it up with those cautions as well. So a lot of guys making a charge and maybe just running out of time at the end of it. If they had a few more laps, they may have really started making way. And but yeah, definitely the last really 10 laps in those 2 green flag runs to the end, a lot of drivers setting personal best lap times as well. So it was definitely pedal to the metal and making a charge and trying to get up the pointy end of this field late on in the race.
And I know that you're, and we all know by now that you're more of a race brain and know and understand the oval scene more than I. But was there any point of this race that you could see someone that stood out to take this, or were you like what I was sort of calling the race was? I had no bloody idea, to be honest, until probably at least the last probably 5 laps.
Oh, well, in that first long green flag run, where we saw Darren McKenzie and Wade Sheedy shoot out to a pretty lengthy gap on the 3rd place at the time. It was looking very strong from those two, but then Darren McKenzie was even able to stretch his legs out a little bit extra. So if it did go green, Darren was looking very strong, but still comes home in a P2 with all the cautions that we did have in the way that they fell. So I believe he got trapped a little bit in that first green flag pit stop cycle with the way the caution fell, but managed to get the position on track back and really use it to his advantage and make that high line work. We saw some fantastic passes around the outside from Darren as well.
Yep, making 2, 3, 4 positions up around that high line. That's where the speed was. That's where the run was. That's also where the tyre conservation was. But, well, how good was tonight? Round 13, Skypoynt NASCAR Trucks eSeries. Well, it's been run and done here at Nashville Superspeedway. Use those words, Superspeedway, very, very loosely. It's the name of the place, so we'll call it that, but definitely not raced like that. We've seen that quite definitive here for this round of this great series, and well, let's get a word from the drivers that actually done well in this series. They know damn well that exactly what this track's like, Jai. Let's jump in and let's get a chat with Dave, Down, and Ruben. So move into the podium, the chat, and let's get their word of the way their race went. Superspeedway in name, not in nature. We had a chat with Phelps, Mackenzie, and Douglas. We've just moved into the podium room right now. How good was it? Superspeedway it's called, but I don't think it plays out like that. But definitely you guys turned it up a notch, and the racing to watch was absolutely sensational. Ruben Phelps P3 here tonight. Good run at the end. And, well, I suppose you could probably answer it. Me and Jai have been asking the question throughout the whole night. Superspeedway it's called, but not in name, but not in nature. Is that pretty accurate, mate?
To be honest, no. It's not a super speedway of what we would know as in like a Daytona or Talladega, but I guess it has the name for some strange reason, so we got to take it.
Yeah, that's what we've been saying. By name, not nature. Ruben Phelps, your tricks to get here in third. It's your second round in this series, and we spoke to you twice. So something's clicked with this series. We all know that you know how to steer a truck and anything oval, but definitely two races, 2 starts, 2 races, and 2 podium finishes. What's your secret, mate? The trucks is got to be your forte.
But you got to remember, I was at Daytona and Talladega a couple of weeks ago too. So, but still, to be honest, it's just about being patient because there's a lot of guys that are still trying to get used to the oval stuff. So, if you can get through the carnage and just look after your equipment, of course, the open setups you get that speed variations with tape and some trucks are loose, tight. You've got all types of scenarios on the racetrack. You can pass left, right, whatever. So it's just about managing the tires and managing the gaps and getting through the wrecks. Then you can get all the track positions.
And talk us through tyre wear, mate. We know this track was all about tyre wear rather than fuel consumption. Tyre wear, what line did you feel comfortable, mate? Because, well, we've seen about 1 million of them, and, Jai's probably knows more than me in terms of this, but I couldn't pick where was best because everyone was trying to have a crack at all lines, low, medium, and high.
To be honest, my truck handled a lot better, sort of that middle bottom. I did try the high line a couple of times. You get the good drive off like 2 and 4, but it wasn't as good as, say, for example, what I managed to do on the outside lane last week. So, but with going on the bottom, you can lift off a little bit earlier, roll it in, and doing that, it straightens off turn 4 to save that right front, which I was obviously doing at the start of the race because I put some fuel in and all that. But as the track evolved, it got a little bit tighter on the track, so it wasn't really, for me, it was just the inside.
It was a great race, Ruben. P3, hardest charger as well, mate. Up 34 positions. Good charge through the field for tonight's race. And how good is it? The series is quickly coming to a close. Jai, I'll throw over to you to throw a few questions over to our P3 winner, Ruben Phelps, in the 06 machine, and you can close it out.
Yeah, just congratulations on your third place, Ruben. Very strong finish again in the Skypoynt Truck Series, and I think I called in the broadcast the last pit stop that you did. You may have only taken right side tyres. Was that the case?
Yeah, I tried to do it because, I think there was the left side tyres had maybe 12 laps on them plus 5 laps of greens. So I thought if I put 2 tyres on, there might be a little bit of grip or a little bit of a looser truck. That's what I was aiming for, to get a bit more of a looser truck to be able to get some rotation because the track had tightened up. but at the same time, I wanted to get a bit more track position, which I gained 2 spots throughout the scenarios. So that was my aim, but as in grip wise, to try and catch the leaders down, it's pretty much stalled out anyway. So, but at least I got the track position to sort of be able to have that run anyway. But that's why I decided to change 2 tyres.
It was definitely a good call to make, and I know when I only take right side tyres, I normally end up in the fence myself. So definitely a good run to the finish with a bit of an unsettled truck, but definitely had the pace. So congratulations, Ruben Phelps, with your P3 finish, and just your time to shine, and thank anyone that kind of got you here and made it all possible.
Well, you got to thank the Skypoynt fellas to that put the league on, and of course you got to thank Momentum Sim Racing, which is obviously the team I'm running for. Of course, Darren and Dave for the podium, and you, Peter, for the broadcast. Enjoy as well for the commentary.
Yeah, well, we can't do it without Jai. Jai's a formidable part of the commentary team in the LR Esports NASCAR Truck. You know, in the broadcast booth each and every Tuesday night. Ruben Phelps 06, only second round here that you're racing, and well, hope it continues, mate. Congratulations on your P3, and it's only a matter of time before we speak to you last in the podium, mate. Great drive, and keep on moving forward.
Oh, for sure, it'll be good to get on the top step, but I'm happy with a podium, especially starting at the back.
Well, mate, definitely enjoy these chats and keep moving on. And 2 weeks' time, or actually it's a weekly round, sorry, too many broadcasts going on. But next week we move on, and well, let's see what we can do. But definitely the 06 is yes is you put your number and your name on this series, mate. You may not be in the hunt for the championship, but you're going to have Phelps there in everyone's memory after this round, mate, and hopefully next season you'll take that what is it, the reef they give you.
Yeah, I took a bit of a sabbatical when the series started for unforeseen circumstances, but yeah, I'll see. I'll see what I'm doing, and maybe I'll get into it next season.
Great, mate. Great watching you race, and great interviewing you as well. Ruben Phelps 06, up 33 positions. Not only comes home with a third place, but hard charger as well. Great drive. But we move forward to our second place, the 02. The numbers align once again, or if I can say, the stars align once again. Up 8 positions. Darren McKenzie, Southern Stars Esports P2. You led most of that one, mate. You look pretty strong to take it out, but you and Dave battled it out to the end. But what's your take on the race, mate? It looked fun out there anyway.
Yeah. Some could say that I was robbed by the cautions. I had a good strategy. I had excellent race pace, and I think there was when I pitted the first time under green, they were just starting to catch me. They were about a second behind, and I figured, well, if I can hold them out this long, if I pit now, get the undercut, goes green till the end. It seemed to be running pretty smoothly through that period of the race, and yeah, it wasn't to be. I had to work my way back through the field a couple of times.
Well, you worked your backside off, and like you said, you had to work through a couple of times, and up 8 from where you qualified. All asphalt surface here in Nashville, mate. Did that make a difference?
Yeah, I don't mind the concrete track.
Oh, that's what I meant.
It's definitely the setup we had. I was told I hadn't even done any testing before the race server opened that Tom had made some special adjustments to it, and I don't know what he did, but it suited me down.
Yeah, nice. We got Giant here as well. We were marvelled at the way that you turned this, or steered this car, or truck rather, around this track, and you were quite aggressive in some of the moves, and sometimes it has to be like that. And not saying it's unsportsmanship, but you just wanted to show your nose and go, hang on, mate, I want that position, I'm going to take it. And well, around the next corner, you were in front and done it quite cleanly. Jai, we were watching that, and the 02, he deserves that second position, doesn't he? Because he fought hard out here tonight.
Yeah, it's a great job, D-Mac, on second place, and even working your way back through the field with a few untimely cautions as well. So definitely had the pace on majority of the field tonight early on in that, especially in that green flag run, opening up the gap to, I believe it was about 3 seconds. But yeah, with the concrete track, as we've touched on, does the track, do you feel, evolve a little bit differently than the asphalt tracks, or was it kind of the same in doesn't matter what if the surface is compared
Yeah,
to
the
concrete and
tyre
asphalt?
wear, yeah, it's like normally we're looking at a run like that, you're losing half your tyres. You're looking around 50%, and the way I use tyres, normally a lot lower than that. But the concrete track, yeah, I think I come in after that first full green run with a couple of cautions early, and I was still had 75% on me tyres, so I was like happy with that, and then I just eyes forward from there. I had a
And just
strategy,
touch
just go for it.
and just touch on the tyres there for a minute, Darren. There's some tracks where a couple of laps in practice you have a look at the data and it's a higher wear where you're pushing too hard there, but and you can see the figures and it's a lot higher than what you can feel. Was it like that out there, or the percentage that you could see in your tyres, did that reflect the way that the car was handling?
I know. Well, the setup we had, I felt confident in the car for a good uh, over 3/4 of their life. Like I knew I could push them. I haven't had a look at my lap times or anything, but I think I was running 30-second laps most of the time. So um, yeah, they really only dropped off. Like I said, when they were catching me, they got back within a second. Probably the last 10 laps or so of their life. So yeah, apart from that, I was very happy with them. So that was my sort of race plan, to work with that sort of time frame on them. I think I went in that last one with about 38 laps to go. I went in on green and figured I'm going to run my second last set home from there. And yeah, we got the caution with about 24 to go. I got the lucky dog, so I put my fresh tyres on and yeah, just raced home from there.
I think I already know the answer, but cautions caught a few people out, especially people in the top 10 that were vying for a position in this bout. But um, the cautions obviously played into your hand. Do you think there's a couple of more people that would have been battling you for the lead if the cautions didn't come out when they did?
I Aiden should have been there. Starting off pole, he jumped the start and basically had to fight from there on end, but he had the same setup as me, so he would have been, yeah, just pretty much just as competitive I was, I think. We would have been running pretty much nose to tail the whole race. But yeah, I think the race was deceiving. Like there was the early caution, then we had the really long green run. So like even me, as someone who's done thousands of oval races, I'm thinking, okay, the field settled in, that they've got a hold of their setup, so I'm gonna plan my strategy home from here. But yeah, as we've seen, people start getting itchy fingers and the setups sort of fade out and they make mistakes and the cautions will come.
And I think I was saying that as well. And I think I've asked countless times to you drivers that do you plan your drive under a green, a green race or long periods of green, or do you plan your race under stop start? And it's almost unanimous. People say, well, no, it doesn't matter. It's you playing it green. Was that the case here leading in Nashville?
No, I've never really got a concrete plan off the green. You got to see how the first stint goes, how many cautions are going to be early, and you sort of, as soon as the first caution happens, or you get a bit of a long run on green, and you know how your tyres and your car's handling, you can sort of start planning it around there. But then, yeah, those surprise cautions will stuff everything up.
Well, they definitely did play into hand with the results tonight, didn't they, Jai? But well, the cream rose to the top. Ruben Phelps, we spoke to, got P3. Darren McKenzie from Southern Stars, we're talking to him now, P2. Well deserved as well, Jai. But the race planned out, and well, that's it was another great race tonight, and I think Darren McKenzie deserves P2, and I'm sure you've got a few questions to add as well.
Yeah, just when that first caution came out at the end of the green flag run, when you did do your pit stop, how much of a kind of muddle up does that put on the drivers, and how is it stressful at all trying to replan and refigure how to get back up to the pointy end of the field when that kind of thing does happen?
Well, mentioning that, I'm not sure. I haven't seen the server settings, or don't know 100% certain. But the regrouping under green was a little weird tonight. I don't know whether it was track sensitive to that or it was an error with the setup in the server. But twice I got a wave around as lucky dog, and twice I had I wasn't put to the back of the field like I should have been. I think I started in the first third of the field the first time I got my wave around, and I was right up there with the leaders in the top 5 the second one.
We're just having a look at a couple of yellow flag sort of situations now, as the sort of the field that we're watching now sort of groups up, and you're in the middle, and yeah, well, we'll have to
I'm
go.
not sure whether it was because of the track and everyone being caught out with the wave around so late. I don't know whether it was that or an actual admin error. I can't say 100%, but it did seem weird that I was given an advantage like that where I should have had to have worked my way through the whole field.
Well, we'll have to work that out. Remember, the review is coming up after this one, but Darren McKenzie, that's all the paperwork and everything for everyone behind the scenes to work out. Don't worry about that. Up 8 positions, 0-2 Southern Stars Esports here at Nashville, mate. Congratulations, P2, and I'm sure there's a long list of sponsors waiting to get a shout out.
Sure is. We got Tiona Holiday Parks, Mish's XL Garage, LR Esports for the broadcast and everything you do to put on something to watch every week, and Skypoynt. They put on a hell of a series. It's going from strength to strength, the competition, and it's a great league to be a part of. Each Tuesday night you're going to have a good fun race and get some good competition. And yeah, I think everyone in the field, thanks. It's been a great series so far. Let's make season 3 bigger and better.
It's going to be good. We got season 2 to finish off. Darren McKenzie, 0-2, finishing second here at Nashville. Keep pushing forward, mate, and we hopefully we can get a couple more of these podium chats along the way, mate. But definitely 0-2 on P2. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Darren McKenzie, 0-2 on second. Dave Douglas, 1-0 on first, up 3 positions. Mate, Dave Douglas, how'd it feel out there tonight, mate? It wasn't easy, was it?
Oh, mate, tell you what, I went through the ringer to get to that one, mate. I'm just watching now to try and work out some of it, but man, I don't know if I deserve it, but I was in the right spot at the right time, and you just got to keep your wits about you, know who you're racing. Hold them and fold them, baby.
Hold them and fold them, and you did right, and you did that well. You didn't, like I said, it wasn't easy. We seen you fight through. We seen you have a few incidents with a couple of people. We seen you just having rip snorter battles. Nashville, one of your favourites, mate. Did you? What was the thought coming into it?
Usually I go okay. It sort of it works with my driving style, but man, the car tonight it was a dog, man. So I don't want to sound like I'm a hero or anything, but that was all driver stuff tonight. Like that car was trash. Like it was good for about 8 laps, and that was it. And man, I learnt that real quick in that early stint. I just went back with the damage, didn't help. Some dead set facing the wrong way in the grass. Lap 1, I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be one of them nights.
Well,
mate, it was one of them nights for a long time there until the last 25 laps.
Well, you pulled it off. Superspeedway by name, not nature. Is that, I've asked everyone, but can you add anything to that? Is there any reason why they would have called this a Superspeedway?
Oh, mate, they're just trying to Big note, mate. Highball themselves, mate. This is just a baby, mate. Little fish down here, mate. Old Nashville, Music City.
Music City. That's what we've been hearing as well. It's definitely not a super speedway. Tyre game. Super speedways, don't worry about tyres. Throw them out the window. Don't need them.
That's it, exactly right. But here, tyres, everything here. Like, if you set up, if your car was set up good, definitely on the long run, you get to see a benefit because I had, like I said, 8 laps on me about that, and I went from about 6, I think I was at one point in the first long stint, back to nearly 20th. So like I was gone. So I just legit just sat back and just consolidated and thought, oh, I'll just take the points. Gerlock's not here tonight; he's crook, so that's a big loss and that's a big gap for me. And then obviously Trent and Andy, I'm fighting. So just kept an eye on how those guys were going and just ran my own race. Really, like it was terrible.
Well, mate, terrible, and you still won. So
That's what I mean. What an absolute crack up, mate. What a dead set.
well, I tell you, there's a few people that are probably not cracking up. They are cracking up, but probably in a different way than they're cracking up, Dave. But $1,000 from Skypoint, the Royal Triple Crown, the Royal Flush of the series, if you will. You got your eye on that, mate, because we got the Super Speedway legs coming up, and I think you and Skirley and Andy are probably the 3 favourites. You done the math yet? Are you still in the fight?
It's funny you asked, man. Before I started doing a bit of setup tinkering with before this race tonight, I had a quick look at the points and just to see where I'm sitting. So I'm about 21 points behind in the Daytona, but I'm leading the Talladega one. So I need to make up 21 points at Dega to try and win that. Obviously, that's hard, but look, it's there. It's there to be won. And I'll do everything I can to take Tom's money off him, mate.
I tell you, I can half sense the excitement and the way I'm going to give away Tom's money. And no, actually, if someone wins it, I'm going to lose. I'm going to swear here. I'm going to lose my absolute effing shit. I tell you, if you win or someone wins that $1,000, I'm going to lose my shit and I'm going to give it the presentation it deserves.
Absolutely, mate. Definitely, like that's a lot of money, mate. And look, it's hard to win too. Like that, I'm no shoo-in by no means, mate. Like it's going to be tough. It's an uphill battle from there. Like 2 of the toughest tracks to try and even get a result at, let alone win. You know, it's going to be tough. So, but we're in the hunt. So, I don't know. Like I said, I'll if I can get it, mate, I'll be cheering.
It's going to be good. I'll tell you, before I throw over to Jai, before round 1, I say the admins sent me through the thing, and I'm like, oh, $1,000. That's the first thing I seen. And I'm like, ooh. Yeah. And then you read the conditions, and you're like, oh, that's a piss take. I thought, oh, that's never going to happen. And then cut to now, I'm like, oh, hang on a minute, Dave, you could just take this. So from something I thought was almost out of reach is within reach.
Well, I read it and thought, yeah, right. The super speedways I've got covered because I'm a specialist at the speedways, mate. But then I thought I just got to put it all together in between. So I thought that was the easy part, but now it's going to be the hard part, I reckon.
So's Tom. He's Mr. Super Speedway himself, and he's giving away the money. So he's gonna come back. He's gonna come back.
Yeah, he's gonna try and come back and take his money. But don't sleep on me, Tommy. Don't sleep on me, mate.
No, it's going to be a fight to the end. Hey, Jai, how good is this? Dave Douglas, what a fight to the end. The 1-0, the number 10 machine wins this thing. What a good chat. It's always great to get a chat with the DD, and hopefully he takes out this $1,000 Royal Triple Crown, Jai, but I'm sure there's many of more educated things you want to ask.
I know, it's definitely a stellar drive again, Dave, and another win under your belt. And awesome job on those final restarts as well. Really, like getting out of the gate really quickly and managed to hold off the rest of the field.
Yeah, so, that was it, Joy. That was the. I mean, at that point of the race, that's what I had to do. So, I just tried to nail them restarts as best I could and just get that little gap and try to hold them off. So yeah, good pickup, mate. But that's what I had to. That's definitely what I was aiming for.
Well, we do move on to Las Vegas, another mile and a half next week for the trucks. Is that a decent track for you, or is it a bit of a
Well,
concern?
this week I was missing my engineer, so I got someone who races among us. He's my engineer. We work with him and for setup wise, and we missed him this week, and you can tell the car missed it as well because it was way off. But so hopefully I can get him back during the week and do some work with him. But I won't give away my secret. But he races among us. He every now and then he shows up. He's in the same car. He's out here racing. But no, he's a gun at what he does. But he just keeps it on the down low. So I'm glad I got him in my corner. But yeah, so hopefully we can get a car pretty pointy at Vegas. I believe he's got something that we could work on. So yeah, we'll go from there.
Keeping your cards close to your chest. That's what we like to see.
That's it, mate. You gotta,
Yeah, you got to. When we come to the back end of the series, how good was it? This is round 13 of the Skypoynt NASCAR Trucks eSeries. Nashville, all concrete surface. I called it asphalt, trying to set it apart from the rest. But no, I got that wrong earlier on. It's concrete. And, well, if you listen to the ads, concrete is tougher. You know the retainable ads? Concrete. I tried to reference that. I needed to reference it better, but...
No, go for it, mate. I know what you're talking about, but yeah, no, it sounds
No
awesome.
idea, no idea. Anyway, have a look at the retainable ads. He asks timber or
Google that,
concrete,
mate,
and he
sure.
says concrete. But anyway, Dave Douglas, P1. I'm rambling on. Let's get this over and done with. Dave Douglas, he's got the secret to take the $1,000. Let's see if he can do it. Dave Douglas, BMX Bandits. Time's come, mate. We've rambled on a bit. Congratulations, P1. Shout outs to people get you.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, my engineer for me and Skirly. Shout out to him. The engineer, that's who he's going to go by. Yeah, that's exactly Stig. Yeah, he's a legend. Hopefully, we get him back next week. Fingers crossed. But obviously, shout out to everyone that does the league, all the drivers, participants, admins, the broadcast. Obviously, yeah, that was a crazy race. I don't know how I got the win, but anyway, we got there, and yeah, more ass and class, I reckon.
Well, it doesn't matter. More ass, more class, more class, more ass. It doesn't matter. We done it. Nashville, round 13. What a success, Jai. The battles, yellows here and there, but the pressure is on, as Dave said. And what a great race this was here tonight, and a good showing in numbers.
Yeah, it was an amazing showing again. 45 trucks here tonight, so 2 more than last week, but last week was capped and a sellout, as we've mentioned before. So yeah, definitely a good showing, and look forward to the final 3 rounds. So next week Vegas, and then we move on to the final 2 rounds at Dagger and Daytona to really pretty much end the season on what a great season it has been, and such amazing racing all season long.
It has been a great season all season long. 13 rounds. We've been going 13 weeks. Would you believe it? The series is on its head. You don't know who's going to win it. We've got one more 1.5 miles, 2 Superspeedways to cap off. What a stellar season. $1,000 is still in play. Skypoynt NASCAR Trucks eSeries Royal Triple Crown will play down to the end. Let's keep tuning in every Tuesday night. Let's keep turning up every Tuesday night. Dave Douglas, Mackenzie, and Phelps. That's your podium. And my name's Peter Gretton. Jai Schultz was in there as well. We'll see ya next week. Don't work too hard. My name's Peter Gretton. Jai Schultz is there. Cheers.